know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by betonline.ag and Underdog Fantasy. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA, college basketball, to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Although the NFL season is done, there's still many games to be played between college basketball, NBA, NHL, and WNBA. There's always time to embrace your inner underdog. All you got to do is predict higher or lower on multiple different player statistics. If you've yet to download the Underdog app, do so now and get free cash. Click the link in the description or use promo code ChiefConcerns, one word, to claim your free pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So let's continue to keep the good vibes going into the spring season. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End. I am Marcus Dash. Right there is my brother Tasia Dash, and our guy, our resident friendly neighborhood tight end, Jason Dunn, will be joining us shortly. He said to get started, he'll be coming on here momentarily. I hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. I hope everybody is enjoying the March Madness so far. It's been not a lot of madness going on, but it seems like not really. It's one seeds, 4 1 seeds in the Final Four, so it's like not a lot of madness, but it's nonetheless. March Madness is always a good time of the year. And of course, we get close to draft season. So lots of good stuff going on. Baseball is underway. And there he is. Our friendly neighborhood tight end, Jason Dunn, is here. JD, how are you doing, brother?
Good, man. What's going on? What's happening?
Nothing much, man. Tage and I were just talking about how the sports right now. I was saying I hope everybody enjoyed the weekend, the Final Four. I was saying not a lot of madness going on in March Madness this year. You got 4 number 1 seeds in the Final Four. You could say the 4 best teams made it this far, but usually you like to see some kind of Cinderella story at this point, like at least a 4 seed for something.
How about them Dookies, baby? But they doing what they're supposed to do. But sometimes, every year it just has to work the way that it works, right? And usually what you start seeing is some really good basketball, some solid playing. And so I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Because sometimes when you see sometimes a 16 seed be the number 1 or 2, you start wondering what's been happening with, the team that got rated, 1 or 2. Why they rank so high? And so, this year has been some really good basketball. Has been, especially this tournament, what I've been watching. Some really good competitors. And so I love it. I've enjoyed it. It's kind of one of those things here, in Kentucky, when UK lost, now nobody want to watch basketball. And I was my son-in-law, who's a huge UK fan, went to UK. I'm just like, you watched the game of the weekend? He's like, nah, I don't watch. I'm like, why? Like, you're a basketball fan. Like, you still don't want to watch basketball, even though UK lost. He's like, I didn't have the taste for it. I guess.
I mean, if the Chiefs lost early in the playoffs, I wouldn't want to watch that much more football.
No, but you're a football fan. Like, you'd watch.
I would, but I mean,
you wouldn't.
It's not about being a football fan. It's about being bitter. It's totally different. I mean, I'm sure, he likes basketball. His heart's on Kentucky. You lose some of the flavor.
Yeah, but anybody who's for example, the Chiefs are like the 1 seed that should be going far. This year, Kentucky wasn't that team, so I wouldn't be that butthurt if we were like a team, like let's say, some of our best.
What were they 3, 4?
I think they were it might have been a 6 seed actually.
I think
Really?
Six seed.
around there,
So
Okay.
I wouldn't be that mad if my 6 seed team didn't go all the way.
Listen, man. They say, University of Kentucky is like one of the meccas. It's a mecca of basketball. You start talking about, college basketball, championships and whatnot. UK is always in there.
Yeah.
And so they're expecting always to be in, the Final Four. That's what they
Expectation for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think because Calipari just was able to get him for the number of years that he did. Now Mark Pope came in and did a great job getting him to the Final 8. So that is something positive to look at, right? You can build on. So that's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
Yeah, I was reading that, like, because every year, like when the brackets come out, like the bracketologist always will take shots at the committee for their rankings or whatever. Obviously, they got it right. The 4 best teams get to the Final Four, but they were saying when it does their bracket research, everyone looks at the Ken Palm rankings of the Elite 8. Apparently, they got the Ken Palm rankings, the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9 of the 8 of the top 9 were in the Elite 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 9th team was Michigan State.
That's how I did my brackets.
That's crazy. That pretty much went the way the Ken Palm.
Well, there was a formula that's like Ken Palm. It's like offensive rating, defensive rating. There's like one other metric. It said has pretty much decided the last I don't know how many Final Four teams. It's been like a crazy percentage, and I was like, play the percentages. So
JD, I'm assuming your bracket's still good. You have Duke. I'm assuming.
I have Duke. Yeah, I do have Duke winning the whole thing. Of course. I'm trying to think. I haven't checked my bracket for a while, but I told Susan. Susan might win hers at work because I was like, pick Duke to win. She's like, like, really? So she was asking me. I'm like, yeah. So I kind of helped her interview her coworkers watching. Just gave her just one was Duke. Okay, so she did everything else, y'all. All right.
There you go. JD, you're a Duke fan. I've seen a lot of conversation. Everyone's saying that if Cooper Flagg wins the championship this next weekend, he's going to be top 4 Dookie of all time. You're a lifelong Duke fan. I feel like longevity and how long you stay in college has to play a bigger factor than it is. And they're just saying he's the most talented player, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about top Duke player of all time. And a guy who just comes in for 1 year, wins a championship, then bounces. I don't think that makes you a top 5 Dookie of all time. I just don't.
I think, when the type of hype he had coming in, being able to get him at Duke is probably a lot of the reason. We've seen him in high school, what he was been able to do to get to this point. We know he's going to be probably the number 1 pick coming out. So, I mean, that's why, right? And I think that's maybe the accolades would carry that. But yeah, we talk about longevity and stuff. I think, people have their own list. I don't. Hey, he's a hell of a player, man. He's exciting to watch. So,
would you put Carmelo on top 5 Syracuse players of all time?
Carmelo?
He won.
He's a one and done.
Yeah, he won a ring too, right?
He came, won, bailed.
I would. Oh man, shoot! You talking about some? Oh man, Coleman. Man, you start naming some guys. Carmelo probably was okay. Syracuse. I wouldn't say that.
Duke.
It's not Duke, man. Come on, it's not.
I know. It's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't really compare the other 2 schools as far as the players have gone there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Coleman. Some good names. They're not Duke names.
No.
Billy Owens.
Billy
Owens play. Ronnie Cycli was accused. I didn't even realize that. Sherman Douglas. Man, some classic names on this list.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you're the kind of longevity you're talking about, Marcus, is McNamara. You put McNamara in your top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
see?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to be. That guy played forever over there, it seemed like. The guys who always seem like they played like 10 years at a college, those are the guys who you got to think are like the top 5 guys of all time. Like Redick, for example. Redick, may not have he didn't win a championship, but for the 4 years that he was there, he was the guy. He was the guy at Duke. Battier won a championship, but he was the guy.
Battier's top 5 of all time?
I feel like he's got to be the top 5.
Man.
Remember Lawrence Moten?
Yeah.
That was a good Q's player. That was early mid-90s.
Oh, man.
Dave Bing, obviously, would be one of the top Q's players. But, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. But
well, you had to think, I mean, okay, Zion Williams, we could start this. I don't know everybody want to hear, a Duke fan sitting there talk about it. We could go with Hurley and Hill and Leitner. I mean, that's some great names.
Yeah, Grant Hill. Yeah, that's got to be top. I would say maybe number 1 all time.
Johnny Dawkins.
Yeah.
That's great level.
Yeah.
And he was an assistant coach for them, too.
Yeah. John Schreier's doing a great job as head coach.
He is.
Yeah. Who all we got in the chat tonight? Let's see who's all in the chat to see if are we basketball fans over here. What's up, Linda Hunter? How you doing? I'm the Browns in here. Woohoo! I guess you're a Duke fan. I'm the Brown. Yes, is it yes? Give me a thumbs up or yes.
Yeah, the only sports team I like more than KC Chiefs is the OG hometown Duke Blue Devils. There you go.
Yes, sir. There we go. Yes, sir. I don't know if Neff is on here or not, but he's a Tar Heels. So we like yes all the time. Back road and Chapel. Family man, what's going on? How you doing, my guy? Nana Sherry's in here. Love NBA in the 80s. Has season tickets to Lakers, Kareem and Magic. Oh, wow. Okay. You watch some good ball then. You watch some really good ball. Sasha's in here. Kentucky fans are the reason I went to Louisville. I hear you. They could be something else. That's for sure. Be something else. They hate hearing from me when anytime UK loses. I always say I'm a UK fan by default, but
Danny Ferry was a really good Dookie.
Danny Ferry, yeah, Danny, of course, yeah.
Led them. I didn't know this. 3 Final Fours he led at Duke.
Yeah. Duke's had some really good man.
Yeah,
I mean, Kyrie Irving would be, but he never really actually played. But he was there. He was
yeah, I mean, you gotta have to play.
Yeah, he contributed. You know what I mean? Talking about the greatness.
Yeah, Kyrie would be in the same kind of cloud as the Cooper Flag, the kind of the one and done guys. Like he would be in that list, I would say. I think you have to have a certain list. You have the longevity list, and you have the one and doneers top 5. You have to segment them, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, some of these guys were like one and done or played 2 years and lost, right? Like Elton Brand played 2 years.
Elton Brand. Woo, there you go.
He lost in the championship in his sophomore year.
Elton Brand was
Barry never won it.
The EB was good, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, a lot of these guys just didn't end up winning it.
Drew Boucher, I saw Dr. J play during last season before he retired. That's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet.
The doctor.
I mean, yeah, man. It's some of these cases against for some of these guys is tough. Like the Battier Jay Williams team is just so good, man. They dominated.
Jay Williams is really good, man. Jay Williams doesn't get talked about enough because of how short his NBA career was because the motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Straight dog. I mean, Carlos Boozer. I mean, we could name guys left to right, that's been, in the league that's done, just solid guys, solid players.
Yeah.
So, if you want to say
Bleacher Nation's top 5, they have a top 10 list. Their 5 is Leitner, Hill, Redick, Jay Williams, and Battier.
That's a good that would be the list I would kind of go with.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yes. Some variation of the 5 there moving around with the tiers there, but that's
Yeah, Dawkins, Hurley, Ferry, Art Heyman, and Elton Brand.
Yeah.
6 to 10. But I wouldn't argue at all with that top 5.
Jason Tatum. Yes, sir. That's right. Tatum.
Yeah, but he left early too. He left after
Yeah.
all those guys and those top 5. I think they stayed 3+, right?
Yeah, they did. Oh yeah,
so like
that was classic being in there for 4 years. You had to.
You start like not only see you say longevity, but see when you think that you think like guys who just stick around long enough to accrue stats. These guys stayed a long time and won a lot, so it's like it was sustained with winning and dominance too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's also too. That's why you have to make a different list because nowadays college basketball is just so much different than when it was when these guys played from like early 2000s before them. It's just so different now because now it is one and done, whereas back then it wasn't that at all. So it's just, it's apples and oranges. You can't compare it.
Look at Auburn's team. Those guys are like 25 years old and starting lineup. Those guys have been. I mean, like some of these guys are like in their mid-20s still playing. Yeah,
but Duke has gone the way of the one and done type players, though.
Sure.
Auburn, but Pearl wasn't doing that. Pearl was recruiting guys who just wanted to play.
No,
I
thought you meant college basketball in general, which it is a lot of that is one and done. But
no, I'm talking about when we do these type of lists of guys like kind of their presence at a school. I feel like a presence at a school needs to be longer than a 1 year. I'm sure if you look at LSU's history, I'm sure Ben Simmons, as far as statistics wise, probably be up there. But like, I mean, his team
per season, averages.
Yeah, I'm saying statistics-wise, his stats are probably great, but they didn't even make the tournament, and he was done. And he was done after a year. So, like,
I know
a lot has to go into it a little bit.
Yeah, I used to like the old rule that you had to do at least 2 years. You had to leave after your sophomore season, at least that.
I think the NBA needs to kind of, and I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think the NIL now allows that for guys to stay in for 2 years at least. Whereas, and also talking about the NBA ratings going down. A lot. The beauty about college football in the NFL, which we're going to talk about prospects tonight, but the beauty about the college football in the NFL is these guys have to be there for 3 years at least. These guys, we're getting to know them. We're knowing their stories. They have they have history. We see them on TV for 3 years. Whereas college basketball, there is no history. So there's no kind of commitment as a viewer to these guys. No connection because you see them for one March Madness and that's it. There's no really connection there. Whereas they come back for 2 March Madnesses, you're like, oh man, I remember rooting for that guy last year. I'm all in on this guy. You start to develop narratives, rivalries a little bit with other guys, whereas you don't have that in college basketball. In football, you do, but not college basketball. I think there is going to come a point in the next 5 to 10 years or so where they do make that rule to go back to at least 2 years. I think NBA's got to do something. I think it's the link with college basketball that needs to happen.
I don't know, man. It's hard to put the genie back in the bottle.
They'll just play overseas for a year and come over then.
Yeah. Just like
unless you say international or college, no matter what, they have to play 2 years before they come. Then they might do that.
Yeah, I don't know how you even regulate that at this point. Making guys try to do that now. It almost would seem unfair. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. Why would you change the rule after I'm here? Now the rule changes. Brandon Jennings. There you go. Under Brown's right there with me. Brandon Jennings. Yes, sir.
They're making good money in college, and that's the only difference between now and 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay, making NIL money for 1 more year and screwing around in school, whatever. I mean, it's not really a punishment.
Yeah. Hey, man, you're going to make $2 to $3 million this year. Next year, your lottery pick, then whatever, right? So you'll have a great existence for an entire year. Okay. You'll be the big man on campus, walking around, doing whatever you want to do, having a great time. Okay. Enjoy it.
The ones who've succeeded obviously don't regret it, but I bet if you interview a lot of NBA players after a year or 2 or 3, a good chunk of them will probably say they wish they stayed in school another year or 2.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you look at the NBA's already kind of backtracked on some of the stuff. Like they had the G League NBA Ignite team, which those are guys who went from high school. They didn't want to go to college. They went to the NBA to go to the G League and they'd be drafted from that G League team. Well, the NBA's already gotten rid of that team. That team's disbanded. There's no more G League Ignite team. So they're already kind of backtracking a little bit on that stuff. So with the NIL being a thing now, so maybe with the NIL continuing to get as much money as these guys are getting, maybe they do stay a little longer. And I mean, Cooper Flagg even said there's a chance he might stay, which I don't think he's going to stay one more year, but he said that there's a chance he might stay. And and by the way, if a guy like with that caliber does stay, then you may actually see a little bit more guys staying a little bit longer. Because if Cooper Flagg's staying 2 years, then shoot, I might stay 2 years.
And if he stays another year, he's gonna get paid major money right there.
No doubt.
So it's not, yeah.
Unless he had a bad injury.
That's why he's
probably going to come out no matter what.
Yeah. Maybe he waits to see who wins the lottery. Now, if the Sixers get the lottery pick, there you go. You come out. But if the Sixers don't get the first pick overall, then you stay one more year.
Let's just put it out in the universe. Okay.
Top 5 chance, baby. Top 5 chance.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But this is why the NFL and college football are so special. Whereas like we do this show right tonight, the prospect show. There's so much history on these guys. Where when you do mock drafts and stuff for the NBA, there's not much luster there because we don't really know much about these guys. We have a 30-game sample size to talk about these NBA players or college players. Well, with football, we have 3 years of body of work for most of these guys, and 2 different programs, 2 different types of systems they've played in to talk about these guys. Whereas you don't really have that in college basketball with the top 15 guys. So it's just
But I think what you do is because there's so much of like AAU, you don't have, they develop a lot earlier. You see them doing a lot more games, earlier on in high school. They go to academies, all those different things. And so what you do see is you see the skill set. You kind of know what they're going to become. And I think that's the reason that, you can make an evaluation on a guy, after his first year. You pretty much know like, okay, this kid's going to be exceptional. Where it's a little different, where you have to play, football is a team sport. You just can't be the only guy out there just doing things. And so if you're dominant in AAU and all, but like I said, all these different academies and stuff, then you shoot. More than likely, if you go play 1 year and it's still consistent, they're like, yeah, we knew this guy was going to be that. And the reason I say that, my brother, he's down there in Georgia. He sees these guys all the time. He's like, man, I knew this guy was going to be that because I seen him when he was in 8th grade, or 9th in these academies. He talks about it all the time. And I'm just like, dang God. He's like, yeah. He said, but this is the norm down here. That's what you see. He says, when you talk about the talent that comes through here, this is the place to be. We came back from Florida and we stopped to go see him. And he was refereeing. And so he was like head of the referees down there, I think in his region, I guess in Georgia. And we went into this, I guess, I don't even know how you explain it. It was like a facility that had like 16 games going. And I walked in, I'm like, I have never seen anything like this before. Like all basketball teams. We walked in, it was packed outside and inside with basketball players in high school. And I seen all the coaches, college coaches, everybody was in there. And I was like, man, I didn't know we was going to walk into this. Man, this is it. This is evaluation. They're evaluating kids in 9th, 10th grade. That's when coaches want to get these kids because they know what they're going to be. So it's crazy, man. It blew me away when I saw that. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. You can't get that in football. You just can't. You just can't get that.
Because there's so much. I think there's so much more working. Football's just so different because you learn so much in game film on somebody. And you could see, let's just take a cornerback, for instance. A guy either has speed to handle a deep threat or he doesn't. You're not going to learn how to run faster and run a 4.3 40. You either can do it or you can't do it. Whereas in basketball, if you have the shell, if you can jump through the gym, they'll just be like, okay, you have that. Let's just develop everything else now. Let's just get your ass to the point. Just show you can do things, and we'll work with you. I think there's always a balance between what you can do, your skills, current, and your potential, right? I think with football, that balance is more than a 50-50. Where basketball is like, if you can't shoot past 5 feet, they don't give a shit, man. If you have the potential to just be like this monster that a coach sees, they'll just draft you. Whereas, like, you won't see a quarterback who can't throw past 10 yards get drafted. You know what I mean? Like, it just won't happen. Like, if you can't do the job that you need to get drafted based on, you're not going to get drafted to do that. Whereas basketball, you'll see a guy who can't dribble to go left, get drafted. You'll see a guy who can't shoot past 5 feet, get drafted. You just will. It just happens because they see the potential in you, right?
Well, it goes into the skill set of it, right? Like you said. So you can be, 14 years old and have acumen because all you've been doing is playing basketball your entire life. Like you're not constrained because of weather or anything. Like you go to the gym anytime. Like football here, like after like the fall, like you can't really do too much with football here in the state of Kentucky. You just can't. The only place you're going to get that is probably California, Texas, and other places where it's kind of warm. So, and then it's just the demands on the body that you have to think about as well, too. So if a guy and the kids, we see these kids like dribbling phenomenons, go through behind their back. It's crazy the things they can do, skill sets.
Yeah.
So but you could practice that thing all the time. You could talk about, like you said, the IQ of it. You could talk, man, if a guy is 14 years old, he could jump out the gym, jump over somebody and dunk. Man, you already got that.
Yeah.
Like you said, what else do you have to develop? The difference in football is, well, guess what? Somebody might grow to be 6'3", 245 pounds. Whereas, I came in college, I was 17 years old. I was 6'4", 215, So I got to the NFL, I'm 6'5" 3/4, 265 differently. You know what I'm saying? Different guy. Maxing out at 540. When I was that's when I did it. I did it my senior year in college, actually, when that was. So
yeah, my friends were asking about what your max was yesterday. So he's enormous. Like I'm sure he was like back in the day. I was like, yeah. So I had a photo on my phone of you riding the horse, looking like a Greek god.
Oh yeah.
I showed them like dang, like how much could he max bench? And I was like, let me ask him. I never asked that question. Then 540.
540.
Man.
One time, man. Yeah, throw that thing up. And I wasn't. I was strong like that coming out of high school, but nothing like that. I had to develop that. That's in the lab in college, and that's a lot of that. So yeah, man.
Well, how many? Because tonight the guy I'm going to talk about at the end, he had the most bench press reps of any player this year with 36, I believe.
Yeah, 36.
36. How many bench press reps did you get, JD? Because you said they didn't count 3 of yours.
I think they gave me like 29.
Okay, so you should have had 32.
Every bit of it. I was like that. I was like, my first 3 is like, nope. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, that's how he would count it. That's how he would count. Nope. I was like, oh, come on, man. And so I did 29. I did 29. I would regularly get every bit of like 32 to 34. Easy.
Wow. Did they tell you why? Because do you not lock out or something?
Yes, locking out. There it is, locking out. And they won't let you can't bounce it off your chest. So it's got to be a perfect, press. You can't sit up, can't do any of those things.
Interesting.
And I had long arms. That's another thing. So, yeah.
It makes it even harder.
Mm-hmm. But I was watching tackles and stuff, man. They wouldn't even get like 16.
Yeah.
Crazy.
As we've seen with some of the rookies we've drafted, not the strongest kind of guys anymore. The tackles, they're kind of I don't know what it is.
They ain't been in the lab. Yeah, that's what it is. They a chow. They at the chow line. They ain't lifted. Lifting their plate up is what they doing. Shoot. Bodies looking like that, man. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. Some of these jokers that come in ought to be ashamed of themselves. I was just telling that to my nephew too. I was like, look, man, I said, when I see some of these jokers come in looking like a sack of potatoes, it makes no sense whatsoever. Because I'm like, and we were talking about it because we were saying like in high school, our high school coach, man, he welded our stuff together. We had a block that they cut that we would go down to sit for the squat. We would go touch that and come back up. But it was like our weight room was like a cinder block. When I got to college, man, our weight room was underneath the stadium. It's a small place. I remember the walls sweating. And so we would call it, the dungeon. That's what we would call it, lab, man. That's what it was.
So that's where the dungeon began. That was the first dungeon.
Well, yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
JD's origin story.
Yeah. That's where it was loaded and built That's where he came
That's
in.
his secret hideout, his lair.
Yeah.
The dungeon.
Sitting over like this, put my mask on. Tape.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's like, seriously. And I'm like, man, you look at these facilities now, and I'm like, dude, these places are not being utilized like they should be. All that glitz and glamour, as beautiful as it is, and some of these jokers are coming out there, man, not looking the part. Sorry. I don't know, man. A little frustrating to me.
Yeah, I think I actually saw kind of related to that. Javon Holland from the Dolphins played at Oregon, right? Oregon state-of-the-art facilities.
Yeah.
He said when he came to the NFL, played for the Dolphins, it was kind of a culture shock to him because the facilities are so much crappier than where he came from at Oregon, which is hilarious because, NFL is $1 billion, industry,
Oregon's
right?
got that Nike money though, right?
They got the Nike money, yeah, but that's still wild. That
Nike money's Nike money.
Yeah.
No excuses
Pros
for
or college.
No excuses for some of these guys to, not be, in the tip top shape as they are.
Yeah.
As they're not.
Zero excuses. That's personal work. That's what that is. That's dedication. Like I said, in the lab, man. And when I see dudes like that, because who was that just got, I was showing my brother, Auburn just got, man, their football facility, these are state of the art. They got a golf range, all type of stuff. I'm just like, what do you no reason to go back to your room.
Yeah, it's like Google offices. They don't want you to leave.
Right.
They want to make it so great that you're just like, hey, I'll just stay here and
Just
work.
stay here. Right. You got everything that you want, everything. So
crazy, man.
Well, they're staying in the facilities for the wrong reasons. Not going to the weight room. They're going to playing golf or whatever, or they're doing other stuff besides the weight room.
Yeah.
Especially when you hear guys can't gain weight. That's another crazy thing to me too now. Because you're not on meal plans anymore, dude. You got that NIL money, so everyone should be eating real good now. Real good. On top of the sports nutrition that we have now. So when I'm listening to hours of scouts and draft analysts talk about some guys who couldn't put on weight, I'm like, how? You got to almost try not to put on weight at this point.
Yeah. Well, shoot, some just had bad diet stage. Look at Chad Johnson still talking about eating McDonald's. Why? That's bad advice. Because somebody's just like, yeah, I like McDonald's. And no. No.
Well, we're talking about not adding weight, right? Even if you ate McDonald's a lot, it wouldn't be good weight, but at least you get heavier, right? I don't know how guys can't put on pounds.
Oh, shoot. Burning it.
Yes, man.
Yeah, they burning it, and ain't
just good, man. You gotta get that cream hunt diet. Put on some LB. You get that chili dog.
The Krispy Kreme diet.
Yeah. Kareem had it. He looked like he had a little genetics to him that he was going to be a little pudge. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he had a little build to him.
Yeah.
So.
Some of these guys we're going to be talking about tonight. We have some guys who were the guy I'll be talking about at the end of the show. Guys got some mass to him. We'll get into that later. But we have kind of a good variety of players we're going to be talking tonight in the prospects. Last week we did a full-on running back show. Tonight's kind of a hodgepodge of different guys we'd like to see our team draft tonight in the upcoming draft in about a week. We're about a week away. By Thursday, I think we're 3 weeks away on this week on Thursday. So it's coming, guys. It is getting close. But yeah, are you guys ready to dive into prospects, JD?
Let's do.
Yeah, I guess I could wait for the conversation after we do our prospects. There's something I want to ask about, but we'll talk about it after we do our prospects and stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
I'll make a note of that.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so JD, you got your first prospect here. This is an intriguing one that I've seen some of our fans actually ask us about on the comments of some of our videos. James Pierce.
Yes, sir. Mr. Pierce. Mr. Pierce right there from University of Tennessee. You know what? I've asked this question. And the question I've had is, when was the last time that we've had like a solid premier pass rusher? Okay, that hasn't been Chris Jones.
Justin Houston.
Justin Houston. But even then, when I looked at Justin Houston and his numbers, okay, pretty decent. I'm trying to think when, his what did he have for that? Do you know what the years he had? Because I think
like 17 or 18, didn't he?
Was it that year he had 18? He was okay. So he was the last one that we had that was a premier prominent.
Take over the game rusher?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, there wasn't named Chris Jones.
Yeah.
So I think it's time that the Chiefs decide to get a guy in here that could do exactly that. And James Pierce is that guy. When you talk about athletic ability, there's no question about it. We talk about explosiveness. There isn't even a doubt. You're talking about his quickness and explosiveness. You see it on film. You've seen it. You watch it at the combine. He has all the tools to change a game. And so he could come in the NFL right now and be dominant. He could come in right now of his rookie year and get 12 to 15 sacks just because of the speed at which he plays the game. And when you watch him go one-on-one with tackles, he makes it even look silly. It's not even close, the things he's able to do. And so I think, man, because of his frame, he's 6'5", 245. He's a little undersized, but, a guy like that, you just want him rushing the passer. That's all you really want him to do. You got other guys, if you need it for the, from the run game, for him to come in. He can, you get other guys to do that. But for Pierce, if you bring him in, specialized, second or third down package, let him go get a guy, he can get you that, like I said, 12 sacks a year. Absolutely, especially by how much teams pass it. So I think for a guy like him, if he's available, I think the Chiefs got to take him. And so the two guys I have, there's reasons I'm choosing them, is because not just one, because of their ability, but also two, we're thinking about cost effectiveness when guys come up for their contracts, right? And so, we don't know how it's going to lay out with Karlaftis. Hopefully, things do change. Maybe we don't know what it's going to be with him. Now we know the market is going up. And so he's going to be demanding, top money, as he should. And so as we watch Turk leave and get a good contract, Karlaftis has done a good job, and he can warrant getting a good contract. The thing is, are the Chiefs willing to pay them? So what do you do? So I think your contingency plan is get a young guy in here that doesn't cost as much, that could come in and be productive. James Pierce is that guy. And like I said before, when have we had a premier pass rusher with this type of ability? We haven't in a long time since Justin Houston. Other than that, man, James Pierce, I think for us, would be an incredible pick.
Yeah, to your point, JD, 2014, Justin Houston had 22 sacks.
Okay.
Since then, he has 7.5, 4, 9.5, 9, 11. 9 was his last time with the Chiefs in 2018. So, you're right. Outside of Chris Jones, we haven't had anybody. So this is 2014 since last time we had a premier pass rusher.
Yeah. So we're talking about this 11 years ago. So
over a decade ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if we're talking defense wins game championships, hey man, go get you a go-getter. Go get you a game changer. And so we signed Charles Menahu. We've done Chris Jones is still here with us. FAU is still here. Like I said, we talked about Kalafkas is here, Tillery. So we got a good package of guys that can help us out. We bring this guy here right here on a rotation, man, it's going to be a problem.
And before you get in here, JD, in one of our earlier shows, you picked Ezeraku as one of your guys.
Yes, sir.
Where do you see him, James Pierce, compared to Ezeraku? Who would you rather have between the two of them?
Between the two, I think my nod might have to go to Ezeraku. Because he can play both. He's better at both. I think he's got a little bit more power to him than Pierce. Ezeraku, man, he looks like a rock. He looks like his name Ezeraku. Ezeraku just sounds powerful. Shoot. So I think, man, he the way he plays, and he can bring it. He can be an all down, first, second, third down. You can keep him on the field. Pierce is somebody I think you could keep on the field, but you had to be selective, especially maybe against a run. Because offensively, I would run straight at him if I would do anything. It's almost like Parsons, right? When you negate Parsons, you run right at him. That's what you do. So that's how you eliminate Parsons, a pass rusher.
Tasia, your thoughts? I know you've texted me and JD about your concerns because the guy wore a hoodie at the combine. Because you forgot the combine shirt. So I'm curious. I'm curious if that knocks him down for you.
Oh yeah, I'll pick your fingers up. Go ahead.
I say that, but I've told you I'm totally fine with Pierce in the first round above a lot of guys. He does have, he has character concerns that people have noted, but his college coach said he was nothing but a stand-up athlete and player on his teammate. So you hear certain things and his coach vouches for him. For anyone who doesn't know that story, I'll go ahead and tell so he forgot he ran his 40 in a hoodie, and people were wondering why he ran his 40 in a hoodie, because that's not the best thing to run a 40 in, right? When you have what they usually have, dry fit. And he said he just forgot it. He said he forgot his shirt at the hotel. So not that I want to lower him because of that, but if you have character concerns and you're the guy who forgot his shirt, it's not the best look. It's just not.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna talk about him as a player, but yeah, if you want to comment on that one, we can comment on that one first.
Well, so character concerns to me, it could be a lot of different things that's being said by a lot of different people, and you don't quite know, how truthful these things really are. You just don't know. Like you said, his coach is sitting there standing up for him. Look, character concerns for a guy that's rushing the passer, I have no problem with. As long as you're not throwing your girlfriend over the ledge, anything, putting your hands on people, I have no issues like that. Now, if it's something else that obviously that you say, well, maybe he might be caught with the cops or something, yeah, totally different. But sometimes, like I said, these things could just be noise. And you don't quite know where they come from. But if all I'm asking you to do is go get the quarterback, go get the quarterback. A guy comes in, you're like, look, these things that came out on you, what you need to do is keep your nose clean. We're going to be looking after you. We're going to make sure that you ain't messing up. And we're going to keep a thumb on you to make sure that you ain't screwing around. You better know that. So I think you do what you do. You have a talking to, you get a good, firm understanding on where y'all both stand, especially if you're sitting there saying, I'm going to put a lot of money into you, invest a lot of money, then you got to know what it is. You got to know exactly where your line is. You got to create that boundary. You have to.
Okay, so to double down, the quotes are he was undeniably uncoachable and had one foot out the door his entire time in Tennessee. On top of that, he did not interview well at the combine to quell some of those character concerns with coaches. The story was he has one of the worst character concerns of any player in the draft. It's been taken off the board by probably half teams. They said they think the environment and people around him in Tennessee are the main concerns. They think he could become a pro when he enters an NFL building. That's pretty good. But yeah, they said they wouldn't be shocked if a lot of NFL teams just took him off their board. But yeah.
Well, like I said before, one, Tennessee wasn't it wasn't the final destination for him. Two, like you said, he's not going to be in Tennessee anymore around the same people.
Yeah.
He's trying to get to the NFL. And so I could speak about this personally. Sometimes you might just, go to head with coaches in college. And I've had that happen. And so, with that, it kind of came out. I had to answer that same question. I had to answer the same question in a sense. And like I said, who's to say, right? Because the scouts they ask everybody. And so what you do is somebody will get that information. Well, one coach is like, yeah, man, well, he's, he's a little kind of headstrong, they don't want to listen to anybody. Well, hell, he's good. He's not thinking Tennessee is going to be his last destination. And here you are down here, you try to tell a kid to don't do this and doing that. And he's like, man, I'm out of here. I don't have to listen to this anymore. I'm trying, my future lies in the NFL. And so the problem goes into sometimes coaches in college and even in high school. And I'll say this as a coach. Sometimes coaches want to rule over players. Sometimes they feel like they have players' careers in their hands. Put it that way. Okay. And sometimes it's a power move. Just be honest. It really is. And it sucks that some coaches are like that. And I think it's absolutely disgusting when coaches act that way. And what I've seen is sometimes one of these coaches, and it goes back not just for him, but of the whole picture, before kids are getting this NIL money, coaches could say whatever to a kid. Hey, man, you're out of here. You're going somewhere. I've seen you this place and that place. It is a power trip, Richie. Thank you. And that's what they would do. They would rule over him. Shoot. And you could see it. It was on Last Chance U and all these different places. That's crazy. And I'm sitting over just like, yo, this coach he's like, somebody needs to punch his joke in the mouth. Really. Seriously. And they would get so into their head, they'd be the machismo. I'm the guy. I'm the dude. Well, no. Look, you're there to help a kid get to the NFL. You're there to win games, okay? Let them help you win games while they're in college so you can get paid. You've been getting paid all this money, okay? But then all of a sudden you feel like now you like the Don or something, and you can make a decision about what the kid's going to do with his life. And I absolutely hate it. And I hate coaches that feel that way about how they feel like they can do a kid in his career. So I'm saying this as somebody, like I said, who's lived that before, and as a coach, but also as a player. I get it. I do. The thing is, he gets to the NFL and it comes out and something happens. That's something totally different, because then all of a sudden you mess with your money. So it's like, hey, man, look, you mess with your money now. So if you don't listen to coaches, these things don't happen. Guess what? Things change. So it is power trips, man. Power trips. It happens. We know this. Shoot. All walks of life.
I will say, though, it is a little different now than when you were playing, in the respect that these guys are getting paid now, right? So, like, they're getting money. So we get a little glimpse into how they're going to be in the pros. Because when you played, you were playing for that next contract, right? These guys are already getting that taste of like that life, right? They're already getting millions, a lot of them, right? They're getting paid a lot more than some pros are getting paid already. So I just feel like when you hear character concerns about it now, why would someone change that much if he's already making money with a character concern? Right? Like whereas a guy who wasn't making money in college, you could be like, well, he's going to change because no contract if he gets booted, or like he's not going to make that money eventually, right? So he needs that to get where he wants to be. Whereas some of these guys have already made $5-10 million. Not that it's like,
But why are we demanding the guy to change and maybe not the coach? Maybe the coach ain't a stand-up guy. Maybe the coach in itself isn't somebody that is as good of a person that you think he is. And I'm telling you,
I agree with I totally.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is ego trips. So he comes to the NFL and the guy in the NFL is like, look, man, all I want you to do is ball. That's it. That's all I want you to do. I ain't got no other demands for you other than stay out of trouble, come out here and ball. That's all. So I ain't trying to rule over your life. I ain't trying to do all these different things. You get into the NFL, you're a grown man. You got to take care of grown man things. If you don't take care of them, you're going to get cut. That's the way. Bottom line, pure and simple. So if James Pierce comes in and gets 15 sacks, keeps his nose clean, he ain't out here wilding around, like I said, beating people up. Hey, man, I ain't got no problem with you.
So at what point would you be scared of a play? I mean, because there are character concerns. There are some guys who are bad apples. There just are. I mean, guys get arrested many times. They don't ever see the field again. Like, it does happen. There are cautionary tales for a reason. That's why teams are scared. So when like a guy like James Pierce, just for an example, not even him, but like a player, let's say half the league takes a guy off their board. Does that doesn't scare you at all? When like half the NFL, we're not talking about Tennessee coaches. We're talking about guys that are people that are interviewing for a future job, right? If half the league after interviewing a guy says no thank you no matter what round it is, that doesn't scare you at all.
Nope, not at all. Because somebody could be saying, well, we're going to take him off the board the whole time. Like, I hope they don't take him. I hope we don't take him. Because he comes here, we're going to swoop him up. That's the game that's being played. So somebody said,
yes.
haven't seen him taking him off the board. I don't believe he's still a first-round pick. I haven't seen him anything less than that. To be honest with you, I haven't seen.
Yeah, because someone will take that chance.
Absolutely. Well, why wouldn't they? Because then all of a sudden, when you're doing your homework, you start finding out actually some of these things that these character concerns wasn't such a big deal. Like I said, we ain't talking about somebody.
Sometimes it's not. Yeah.
Right. So sometimes people make it bigger than what it is. So that's why somebody's like, oh shoot, man, it's just maybe immaturity. Maybe somebody just not understanding what this dude's all about. Maybe he's a little upset because, he understands that the coach is kind of ratting him out, saying some different things. And this is coming from a player. This is coming from somebody, and I told you my story. And I'll tell my story on a whole different day. I know we ain't got time for it right now. But I know exactly how he feels, And I said, this is where I felt, man, I fell to the second round. Somebody, tried to say, and, derogatory things about me, and shoot, guess what? Took money out of my pocket. But in the end, I lasted longer than all the other tight ends that was taken before me. Those things didn't show up when I was playing. It didn't. Why? Because it wasn't who I was. No, nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. But hey, it all worked out.
I get it. It's a highly scrutinous environment and atmosphere. But even if a guy slips past where they're supposed to go, right? Like, let's say like the choir boy version of Pierce would go top 10. Even if he goes 26th, that's still a 16 pick drop. It's a big deal. He didn't drop off everyone's boards, but that is a slip, right? I mean, it's notable.
I mean, shoot, we've seen different guys slip for different reasons, and I think it's based off what the teams need, what they're looking for. And if some teams sitting there saying like Ezra Raku has a better character than a James Pierce, we start looking at talent wise, let's take a better chance with Ezra Raku as opposed to James Pierce. So be it.
Yeah.
I get that, right? Maybe the next 5 teams don't need a James Pierce, because they have somebody else that already fits the bill. So, for me, if I'm sitting in there and I'm a scout, I'd stand on the table and say, look, man, if we can't get this kid together and these concerns that they have is not that big of a deal as far as character issues and all these different things, then we need to go ahead and take this kid. And I'll give you an example. See, because what ends up happening, sometimes it don't even matter what you do. I remember just a few weeks ago, everybody was talking about Xavier Worthy, about his character. Oh my gosh, his character issues. We didn't see this in college and all this. Same thing about Rashid Rice. Oh my God, his character issues. We didn't see all these different things, stuff happen. And the reality is, these things all happen in all walks of life. You know what I mean? That these things do happen. Now, I don't care what section of society you in. There's things that people hear and some things people don't hear. Some things people hear and they sweep it under the rug, right? Ben Roethlisberger was, there's a lot of things this sucker did that swept it under the rug, okay? But, he got paid. But I'm just saying that there's a lot of different things. Xavier Worthy, like I said, they were using him. Oh my gosh, characters, what? Xavier, all you heard was a good kid.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, everybody was demonizing this guy. They didn't even know the whole story, Tage.
Same thing with Rashid Rice.
But then you also have guys like Pickens who did have character concerns, and we kind of see that when we watch him play, right? We see that stuff come through the field.
Well, you see that kind of stuff on the field, but you don't see like character concerns like the off the field stuff he's getting suspended for. He's not getting suspended for anything. He's just he's loudmouth.
It's always about getting arrested, though. I don't know where that happened. Like, it's not about getting arrested. It's not about having a rap sheet. Character concerns are being coachable. It's not just about the law. It's about being coachable. It's about being easy. It's about being present. It's about being a good teammate. Character concerns are way bigger than like being arrested in the law, I think, in my opinion. It goes. I
got you. And I think character issues sometimes is subjective. I do. Because sometimes with character issues, some guys may not be character issues to others. And so when somebody say he's uncoachable, maybe your coaching sucks. Maybe you're a terrible coach. Maybe you can't get the best out of it because the way that you act. And I'm just telling you this because every coach that's out there coaching ain't always a good coach. That's reality.
Yeah, but we know Tomlin is. So if you're having a hard time with Tomlin, probably you, not the Steelers coaching staff. Let's be honest.
Who you
I'm
talking
about Pickens in this? I'm talking about Pickens in this case. Like, it's if you had bad reports coming out of college, you're also fighting players and
Well, I mean, but you're going. I mean, subject, different individual by individual.
Tomlin, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it is legit. Sometimes it's unfair.
No, absolutely. I'm not. I told you about the one that Coach Ramil was talking about, Lawrence Phillips. All he wanted to do was try to save him. Right.
It's a great example.
Yeah, but Lawrence Phillips, I don't think. And we go into James Pierce. I haven't heard any concern like as far as like Lawrence Phillips and James Pierce being on the same level as some.
So he's not Lawrence Phillips level. I don't.
Right. God rest his soul. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We don't know how, believable, how truthful these things really are. If his coach is sitting there saying like, "Nah, man, he's a good kid. He's all this." So somebody on the staff done said that, okay. But another coach is dispelling those rumors, right? So which is true?
I know.
Who you listening to?
That's why we're taking the 31, JD.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not shying away from that at all. I'm not. I think the right team helps too. Who's drafting him? And I think we have, especially on the D line, he's got guys to put him under the wing, right? He's got good influences. So I think we're a good team for that to happen. I mean, granted, bad things do happen to our players sometimes, but I think overall we have pretty good influence in the especially on the D line. I think Jones is a guy that will keep you in line. But as far as Pierce the player, I mean, elite first step, twitchy, fast hands, really good at jumping snaps, really good speed to power. One of the quotes I read was what Randy Gregory was supposed to be coming out of school. As far as he can even drop into coverage because he's so athletic. He probably, talking about guys who help themselves at the combine a lot as far as workouts go. He's probably one of the winners at the combine with what he did. The not necessarily negatives, but tough gaining weight. He's got a very thin, wiry frame. So some scouts do question how much weight he can put on to be a full-time, like 3-down end. Might be better suited as a 3-4 outside linebacker because of that. So those are the big question marks with him as far as, his future in the NFL.
I'd like D-Mac on here saying that, man. D-Mac, good seeing you, brother. So hopefully Spags' edge rules can be bent a little to get Pierce destroying tackles off the edge. The thing is, he'll be in enough for one-on-ones with tackles to exploit it, D-Mac. He really will be. So once he lines up, it's like, hey, you beat him. That you got carte blanche to go ahead and destroy your guy, especially if you know it is strictly a passing situation. Go get it. Like that's what we're paying you to do. We're getting you here to go get the quarterback. I think when you do this, especially when you get a guy like this, D-Mac, that's a good thing about Spags. Spags is going to utilize you. He's going to use what he got. He's going to use every sword, man. That joker he's like a ninja, Spags is. Katana, stars, nunchucks. He'll use it all. Little smoke bombs. I mean, Spags use what he needs to, man. And so, yeah, I think he would. I think he would. If not, then I mean, he'll still be in position to go get the quarterback, no doubt.
Yeah, we like you said, we haven't really had a dynamic pass rusher like this. And in Spags' time, let's just keep in the short term. In the Spags Chiefs era, we haven't had that a guy like that. So, so that was a good conversation. Then also too, JD, I think you bring up a good point that like these GMs and NFL teams, they play games within a game. They're playing games by telling these reporters saying, hey, he's off my list. He's off our draft board, hoping that knowing that there is a history of character concerns about this guy. Let me say, he's off my list. Then you hear other GMs saying that, okay, good. Maybe that'll try to draw some of these guys, some of these teams off a guy, using anything they can to kind of, play with a guy's future while also maybe helping themselves out to get him maybe early second round pick or late first.
Oh, man. They once they start dropping in that poison and, the little tails. Oh, yeah, we ain't going to take him. Don't worry about it. Y'all can have him. Man, please fall to us, please. I hope it worked. I hope it worked.
I hear you, but why aren't you hearing this about everybody then, if that's the case?
What do you mean?
Why aren't you hearing character concerns about everyone if it's just a ploy to get someone to drop, right?
Well, because not everybody already has that kind of the stories
character concerns
about their character concerns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, but what JD and I were talking about the playing up of the character concerns.
Well, wait a minute, hold on. We've heard this on different other guys, right? Mike Green was one of them.
Well, Mike Green was, but Mike Green, you can't make it up. Mike Green was accused of sexual assault. I mean, there's something there. They're not just saying like he's late to practice, therefore he's like a criminal. I mean, those are examples that have like merit to them.
Yeah, okay. So somebody saying something like that, Mike Green, because still of his talent, okay, they're sitting there saying you have been Mike Green he's not getting pushed to the second round. Mike Green is going to be taken by somebody in the first round. I guarantee top 15, right?
Yeah.
So even that is a character concern, okay? Even if he did it or not did it, regardless of whatever concern it is that people have, that's something you still have to measure and take into account. Like how do you slice it? So whether true or untrue, or even if this is something that the guy did, right? Same thing, somebody might sit there and say, well, somebody got caught with DUI. Like I told you before, there's a lot of information that's being passed along by different people all the time that we just don't even know. We don't even know this. I'm just telling you. This coming out, who's ever saying this, if a coach is coming out here like, man, that's not true, well, who do you take? Who do you believe? See, like D-Mac said, yeah, the mystery character concern this time. Yeah, that's yeah. So okay,
But that's
you didn't
why I
listen
laughed at the forgetting your shirt thing, because if you know all this chatter is about your character and you're the guy to forget your shirt,
man.
it's just
Come
like,
on, man. No, it don't. Taze, listen. This okay.
no one else forgot their shirt, JD. The one guy who has the worst character concerns in the draft forgot his shirt. Is that a coincidence?
You saying.
Coincidence?
You saying this? The one that has the worst character concerns. You are saying this. Okay.
Oh no, that's
right?
That's what I've read. He's got the most concerns out of anyone in the top of the draft. I mean,
who's saying this?
When
Who's saying
half the
that?
league,
half the league is saying this?
When half the league apparently has taken him off their draft board, yeah, I mean, you have one of the worst concerns, right? Undeniably uncoachable is a really bad quote.
But did the Tennessee coach? Didn't you say that Tennessee coach also came out and
one of the coaches said, yeah, that's
right.
true. Yes.
So somebody could confirm, somebody's denying it. Then all of a sudden he's the most character concerns of somebody. So so the man forgets his shirt, right? I mean, he didn't come shirtless, so he had the hoodie on. He ran a what? A 4.4 what?
Well, I don't think you are allowed to run in without a shirt. I think you have to have something on.
Right. So he still had his hoodie, right? He comes in with his hoodie.
Yeah, he came with something on. Yeah.
So what I said is this is the most stressful time. Like you don't even have sleep. The time that you sit over trying to figure out to come and go, all these different things. It is so brand new, the whole process. Okay. And I'm telling you this because I've gone through it. All right. I've gone through talking to the teams, waking up every morning, 5:30, talking. Like it's a all day thing. Like you think you overslept. You think that, oh my gosh, am I late? I mean, it's nerve wracking. It's nerve wracking. And so somebody's like, he forgot his shirt. Okay. Did the man run? He did. He ran a 40? He did. What did he run? 4.42, whatever he ran. He ran a 4.4 something.
4.47.
Yeah.
He ran a 4.47.
He was like Wesley Snipes from Major League, waking up in the parking lot and beating everybody on that sideline.
Hey, I would have said, he could have ran without a shirt. I'd give a damn. He ran a 4.47. It don't even matter. He could have forgot his shirt and his shoes. I could give a damn.
I get he performed.
That's what I'm asking to do. Taze, I'm asking that man I'm paying you to perform, baby. That's it. I want to see a 4.47. You come off an edge to get 12 to 15 sacks. That's it. Look, guess what? Hey, when you come to the stadium, you don't have to worry about a shirt or nothing. It's all going to be in your locker. Your shoes, your helmet, your shoulder pads. You don't have to worry about keeping nothing at home. Okay? It's all going to be there for you. So you can come to the stadium naked. I could care less. You get on the field, I want to see a 4.47. That's it. That's all. Bottom line. Pure and simple. Our coach, he forgot his shirt. Okay, give him mine. He can have mine then.
Yeah, I think it's just perception. That's all.
It is.
Look,
some people get hung up on those things more than others. And I've told you, I've lived it. I'm telling you, and I'm telling these stories do come out all the time. He say these different things all the time. All we want a guy to come do is come and perform. You see how he's looking right there? You see that? I want him looking like that on Sunday. That's it. Okay? Helmet, shoulder pads, and our jersey. Come get the quarterback. That's it.
There you go. So a complete discussion about the shirt gate here. So if you buy that, I mean, that's the thing. That's the point we're kind of talking about here is, some stuff there is being said negatively about the guy's coaching. He's too tough to coach. And as the same token, you're hearing coaches actually say, no, that's not the case at all. So, just take it however you hear. You can't confirm or deny. We'll have to see. Some teams gonna take a chance on them, and we'll see if those concerns play out.
Yeah, someone's gonna take a chance. Other teams are gonna be like, let someone else be right about it.
And I think the team, J.D. kind of alluded to it, the leadership aspect, what locker room you're going to. A team like the Carolina Panthers, I don't think can take a chance on a guy like that. A young up and coming team, but a team like the Chiefs, who have the veterans in the locker room, who are going to the AFC Championship games every year, they can do that. So
you got the culture, you got everything around your environment. You got a great coach that can establish what it is that you want from a young player. I think what Justin the way says, and he makes a great point right here. Coaches should be held responsible for the things that they say. They say it. Put your name on it. Absolutely. I agree with that 1,000%. 1,000%. So sometimes these cowards get out here. Some of these coaches. Oh yeah, he might want to watch him. Huh? Really, coach? Because I just talked to your other coach over here that actually coaches him, and all he's done is give him high praise. So what's the real story? Who's telling the truth? So,
yeah, put your name on it. Put your name on it. It was a t-shirt hoodie, by the way. It was a t-shirt hoodie. So it's not. It wasn't a full-on hoodie, but
it's not. It's guys. It's not about the hoodie. He could have had.
I get it. You're saying that he already had concerns.
It's not good optics.
Don't add to it. I get it.
If the person I'm interviewing with for a job says, "Don't be late," I've heard you have a problem being late to things, and I come 20 minutes late, and I'm like, "Yeah, but I have a ticket saying a cop pulled me." It doesn't matter. Like I'm late. Like it's bad optics. And I know that when I show up, I'm probably in deep shit for showing up late after they were told I'm a guy who comes late a lot. It just doesn't look good on my behalf.
And he might be drafted later than his spot before that.
It could work out good for some contenders. I'll tell you that.
The thing is, you could take something like that, man, and then you could apply it to anything. He can breathe wrong. It's like, oh, here's the character issues. He could be like, oh, get mad. It's like, oh, here's the character issues comes out. And so what happens is you put this in somebody's mind, everything you look at is a character issue.
Yeah, well, one of the stories was he didn't quell those character issues when interviewing with NFL teams. So like they were going into it thinking, let's see what kind of attitude this guy has, and they walked away going, yeah, no. I see.
What team said that?
Anonymous.
That's my point.
Yeah, no team's gonna come out and say they said that, Tasia. That's gonna be an anonymous report.
It's ridiculous, man.
I mean, Chiefs are the ones that held it against Keon Coleman for eating candy on the table. So we're one of those teams that is pretty nitpicky, I think. So we might be one of those teams, actually.
That came out after the draft, correct?
No, I understand that, but like we're one of those teams who does that. So I mean, I guess they
said they didn't draft him because he ate candy on the table.
That's what Keon Coleman said. They criticized him afterwards for grabbing the candy that was on the table.
Keon said that.
He
said they what did they say exactly? This is the first time I'm hearing this. So
he said, I just more or less they criticized him for eating the candy that was on the table. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's truly ridiculous. And he didn't say it was the Chiefs, but I forgot the exact thing he said to allude. People thought it was the Chiefs based on what he said. I forgot what he's like, our number one foe or something like that, or our the big bad team or something like that. It was something he said to everyone. Everyone was like, "Oh, he means Kansas City," but he didn't actually say it was Kansas City. Oh. Regardless, it was a team. Let's just say that. If the Chiefs are not, someone said that.
They were.
How come they didn't take you? They said I ate the candy that was out there on the table. Hell, I didn't know it was out there for everybody. I didn't know I couldn't get a piece. Jeez. I don't know, man.
It was a fruit snack.
Fruit snack. Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of the tweets I'm reading on here is Chiefs didn't draft Keon Coleman over some fruit snacks. All right. Okay, so now from James Pierce, the James Pierce saga. Appreciate everyone's comments. Everyone had beautiful comments to contribute to the conversation there. Loved everyone's contribution there. Kevin Morris, appreciate the contribution, brother.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Appreciate you, my man. Yeah, some
negative said, but CJ ran his junked out.
No one hold that. No, we didn't hold that against him.
Yeah.
All right, Tej. Now, JD last week talked about one of the two Joshes, Josh Simmons. This week, Tasia is talking about Josh Connerly Jr.
Yeah, Connerly Jr. So I initially was not going to talk about Connerly Jr., but I think I've been bullied by the amount of mock drafts from scouts and analysts and draft gurus that constantly mock him to us. Even after signing more, like he still gets mocked to us all the time. Like he is the most common person I think I've seen throughout this entire draft process that's being mocked to us. So I was like, you know what? Let's talk about Connerly. Let's get it out there. So he's very young. He'll be 21 at the start of the season. Insanely athletic, incredible movement skills, very explosive. I think the best part I read about him was that he dictates the rep. So off the snap, he's so quick off of it that he waits for the rusher to get to him. He doesn't react. He sets the tone. So he gets back there and just waits to engulf the rusher that gets to him. He has an answer to athletic edges. So they have to kind of adjust to him, not him adjusting to the guy, what the rusher is trying to do. And he's new to tackle too, which is an interesting part. He played running back in high school. Needs to gain bulk in his lower half, still learning how to hold blocks in the running game. Not really a bully. He doesn't dump bodies, but he's absolutely elite in controlling the pass block set. The best quote I read about him was he's what a franchise left tackle trajectory looks like as a prospect. Like he's what you want to see from year to year, right? As he's gotten better every single year, which is really important for me. Hand refinement needs done, but he's showing you he's getting better every year and he's competitive as hell.
JD, you've had a lot to say about a lot of the tackles in this draft, or some of the tackles in this draft. What is your take on Josh Connerly? Man, do you expect if he's there at 31, how much of an interest will the Chiefs have at Josh Connerly? Because the rumor is that Chiefs are interested in Connerly and Simmons. That's the rumor right now.
Yeah, I told you, Simmons would be the one for me. Connerly I think, is a guy that is he's not day one ready to be the guy. Still a little growing to do. I think that is something that is promising, that you see the trajectory going up of him getting better. What I see on him on film, I can see some of the technique has to improve. Some of the power does need to improve. Like you said, I need a tackle that's going to be more aggressive, that's going to kill him in the run game. There was times I watched him just kind of move around on blocks to the second level. I think he's a talented guy. I do. I think he's a very talented tackle, but maybe not the most talented tackle in this draft for me. He's more so probably the fourth or fifth guy that I would take. Like I said, Josh Simmons would be the guy for me. But Connerly, shoot, you get him here for 1 year, let him learn and be right there behind. I think he'd do a good job. I think it wouldn't be a bad pick if that was going to be the thing to go, knowing that you're going to sit him down for a year just to get to learn. Like you said, his bottom half definitely needs to get more power to it. He's not as stout in the pass rush either. So all the things like
help that power we're talking about,
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. I don't know if if he's not utilizing the weight room in Oregon like he should be. Like we was going back to our original conversation we was talking about in the labs and stuff. But I think another year of that would get him a lot better to where he needs to be. So, but he's a good prospect. I think he's a good tackle.
And the beauty of our situation is he doesn't have to start right away, right? I mean, Simmons won't start right away, right? Unless like Moore struggles or Simmons in practice just looks that much better than him. But yeah. I doubt either one of those guys would start for us right away anyway. This is more of a, man, if Moore struggles, which that's just bad for us in a lot of different ways. If Moore struggles that bad to the point where we're like, you know what, let's just put our rookie tackle in there. But then you're also looking forward to next year, right? When Taylor, we get out of his contract, maybe Connerly slips over to the right tackle for a season, or they put more right tackle. Like it also gives you next year flexibility too. And this year in case something happens, because we don't really have a stand-up backup left tackle option in case Moore, who's got a very small sample size, struggles. Right. Forget about injuries. Those injuries is bad, but struggles. Let's say Moore is like, okay, not what we thought he was going to be. I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, we don't even have a backup left tackle right now.
That's right. Right. I mean, you can put other guys out there.
Yeah, we did that last year.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you just, for patchwork. But no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And you really got to look at the whole, like you said, the big picture of it. If Moore is struggling, he's doesn't fit the bill what we're asking for. Who would be more game ready? And I think Simmons would be the guy. Connerly, I would put in, but man, that'd be tough.
He also did a really good job against Abdul Carter too, the standout defensive end.
I do like that he comes from a system that does throw the ball a million times a year. I mean, yes, they have great run. They had a great running game last year, Bucky Irving, and this year they had a decent back. But they're a team that likes to pass the ball a lot, and like having a tackle that comes from that's not going to be kind of blindsided by throwing the ball 50 times a game. That's kind of nice to have a tackle that has already kind of been there, done that to a certain extent.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it does help. The thing is, he's going to be seeing Max Crosby and Khalil Mack and monsters. Yeah.
Talent's a little better. Yeah. A little faster.
Yeah.
And stronger.
Yeah. Dual Carter, he's a hell of a player. He ain't Max Crosby yet. So.
No. But he's the closest thing to those guys in this draft, I guess. So, I mean, you can only play who you can play against, unfortunately.
So just out of curiosity, of the tackles that we could realistically get at 31, what is your top kind of
mine?
Yeah, but both you guys. Where I know JD Simmons is Connerly number 2 over. I've seen some mocks of us getting Banks.
Yeah, those are the top guys. I mean, other than Campbell, but we have no shot at him. Although because of his arm length, he's falling a bit too now.
I don't think he falls to 31. There's no.
He's not going to fall. Some would trade up before that happens. So no, he's not. Yeah, those are the top 3 guys that are more realistic for us. I think at their best, I'd rather have Simmons. I think potentially ceiling wise. But Connerly's makeup is it's really encouraging because he's new to tackle. He's played a lot of it. And he's gotten better every season. So, and of all the things that I want to tackle to need to improve on, I choose strength because, like you said, JD, he's going to get in the program. He's going to get with the program. Yeah. So he's going to get that strength. And he's going to get that. A guy who can mirror fast ends, that's not something you can easily coach into somebody. You either have that foot speed and that ability to get out of your position and just mirror someone, or you don't. Like that is just something you have or you don't have. And he has that already. I think that's really important. Him just to play stronger and to get stronger, I think is something we can give rather than give something like mirrorability to somebody, which you can't. So I do like what I hear. And I guess there's a reason why so many guys do mock him to us, but it's a combination of his skill set, and most people just think we're going to keep throwing left tackle darts till we find one in the draft.
Yeah, shoot. Yeah, that's why I say, man, you got to be sure of the guy. You got to be sure of him. Projects and stuff like that does not work, and you got to have a solid guy to watch after PM15. PM15 is the priority, okay? And you got to have the guy knowing when you come here, you're gonna have a hell of a job on your hands. You have to. You have the most important job on the team. What is that, coach? Protecting PM15. You make sure that joker doesn't get touched. Okay, that's what you got to do. So that's your job.
And this is an interesting one, JD. So Connerly is the tackle, and Marcus and I talked about this. Connerly is the tackle that he got a lot of crap at the Senior Bowl.
Mike Green ran over him. Yeah.
Yeah. So I heard a couple of scouts talk about that.
Yeah.
Because they were there. They were watching it live. And they were saying how it's so unfair that went like viral, because a lot of those drills, and you've been at these kind of things before, a lot of those drills, like that one, for instance, that was his first rep. That was his first rep, and they were having them try something. They were having the O-line try the tackle try something in the drill. And they said it's such an advantage. The DN's right there. He can hear what the coaches are telling him he's got to do in that drill. And he's just like, okay, so I know based on what the coach is telling him how to block me, I know exactly how to plow through him. Something you're not going to see in a real game, because you're not going to hear the coach tell the lineman how to block him, because they were telling him how to do a drill. And then that lineman, the D lineman, Green, just took full advantage of it and just plowed right through him on the first rep there when he knew what he was doing. So they said it was a little misleading that he got plowed on that, because A, I think it was his first rep on the right side. Yeah. He's a left tackle. And right. B, he was trying something. He was experimenting with something that coach was telling him to do. So
I wonder what the coach would tell him to do, though, to experiment. I mean, you know, because
I forgot what it was. They explained that the coach was telling him to try a certain, I don't know, technique, or he was telling him something, and they were just like, Green heard that and he was like, all right, I'm just gonna plow right through this dude on this one. And you know, he did. So
well, I watched the other reps that he did, and some were better, some weren't. There was other ones he was still getting beat on. Even on the left side, he was still having a hard time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, because it seemed like, you know, for me as a coach, I'm like, you know, you telling them, all right, I need you to do this, but for a guy, like it's about winning. One-on-one, it's about winning. You got to win this rep. Bottom line, pure and simple. So, they had to go off the what's the name of the movement of the tackle. So that's especially that drill, how that drill works. I don't know. That's interesting. I wonder like what they could have even told him.
Yeah. Well, Josh Conley's been a name that's been attached to the Chiefs a lot in recent weeks. So, guys, could be an interesting one to kind of look back to in a couple of weeks if this does come to fruition.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So now my goal is when we do this show is I want to make sure we talked about the D tackle that we draft, and I'm gonna pick a D tackle every week we do this show, just because I think, and this is what JD and I have been hoping for, we finally get our guy next to Chris Jones. So every week I'm gonna put up another guy, and this is Tyleik Williams, who had a scare last week during the Ohio State's pro day. Went down during his 40, grabbed his knee, and ended up walking off with a wrapped up hamstring. He later on tweeted after the fact saying, he said, I am okay. A little cramp at the end, crying emoji, nothing serious. If I ran through and didn't fall, 4.849 at 3:29 is what he said he would have done. So, but on here is past measurables of his. So 4.68 is what he's had in the past. I don't know when they got that, but that was at some point he ran a 4.68 in his in his time. But I guess the last time they did measurables for him. But nonetheless, Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle. I'm going to read you some of the positives. I went back and looked at bunch of different scout inputs and stuff and kind of put together this. So his positives, Tyleik has an argument as the strongest overall player in the 2025 NFL draft class. A lot of experts are saying he's one of the strongest dudes in this class, which is why he's one of the best run-stopping DTs in this draft class. His incredible power in his lower half, it can't be moved once he has his heels dug in. His level of power is overwhelming at times to offensive linemen. Explosion, with how strong Williams is, some people might underrate the explosiveness that he brings to the table. His first step is surprisingly fast, which allows Williams to generate a ton of power in tight windows once he gets his full momentum rolling. And he has a relentless motor. With as talented as Williams is, he can easily get by with minimal effort. Despite that, he plays with tremendous effort, and his motor is nonstop all game long from snap to snap. Now, negatively, on the other side of things, his pass rush is not the best. So he's a major run stuffing DT, but pass rush is where he kind of has the biggest weakness. Lack of flexibility is a big reason why Williams might never be able to create a major impact on passing downs. There's at times he's inconsistent to get off blocks, and finishing plays behind the line of scrimmage will suffer in result. And flexibility as well. While the rest of quickness, Williams is much more of a linear player. He can go with it within a gap with his first step, but will rarely be able to bend a track that can limit his backfield production. So, strongest guy in the class, high motor. Those are two things you want from a DT. And again, we have Chris Jones next to him. And at first, when the mocks first came out, they had him as maybe a late first round guy. Now, I've seen mocks and experts kind of predicting him going in the second, maybe early third. So this is a guy that, if we don't get a D tackle in round one, this is a guy that we can come and get either the second round or with our early third round pick that we have from the Titans. So there's options with this guy, and we are getting a guy who can start right next to Chris Jones on day one in the second or third round. I love his tape. I love watching what he did this year for Ohio State. Yes, we've talked about it before. They had an amazing D-line. All those guys are going to get drafted. Ty Hamilton, Tyleek, Sawyer, and JT Tomatu. All those guys are going to get drafted. So just put that out there. Incredible defensive line. I wouldn't mind having a couple of those guys from that defensive line. But nonetheless, Tyleek Williams, I think it would be incredible value if you can get him in the second or third round. I just think he provides a lot of value, and to have him next to Chris Jones, and we talk about all the guys who are gone from the defensive line room, and you've brought back some guys. They're not here for a long time. JD talks about cost control. To have a cost control defensive tackle next to Chris Jones for the next 4 years, that's pretty good. And this guy, I know they say his pass rushing might be limited. This is something that if the guy's got a high motor and the guy can, has a strength that he does have, he can become a pass rushing DT, not just a run stuffing DT. So I think there's so much potential with Tyleek Williams here. What do you guys make? I know, JD, you talked about Tyleek Williams before. I'm curious what you think about the potential of Tyleek Williams.
I like him. I think he is, a high motor guy. I do like his explosion that he comes off the football with. The only concern I have is exactly what you talk about is his pass rushing skills, right? He's not going to get a lot of sacks. He's not going to generate that. But he's going to do great against the run, which we're a very strong run defense team. We understand that. So he'll fit that bill. Very powerful with his hands. You talk about the explosive first step. He's very quick. Some of the film I watched him just like getting down the line of scrimmage, getting off blocks and coming down and making tackles. He does a good job of it. Where is he like as far as on my level defensive tackles? He's maybe more fifth guy, I think, somewhere around there, Marcus, for me, 5th to 6th. He's kind of in that realm. He's not one of those top defensive tackles that we're talking about. But he is, I think he is somebody you could definitely get at the end of the second round, somewhere around there, maybe a third for sure. I think he'll probably even, fall into the third round category, to be honest with you. I think he's a solid player. I think they recognize him being a solid player. Is he a game changer? No, not necessarily, but he is a solid guy. He's a solid rotational piece. He can come in. He'll give you know what you're going to get with this guy. Put it that way, okay? You know exactly what you're going to get with him. So he's not going to wow you. He's not going to wow you with numbers. We were talking about that with Mike Pennell, right? He ain't going to wow you with a whole lot of numbers, but he's going to do a solid job. When he shows up, he's going to show up. And so with the type of motor that he has, he's going to make plays. You definitely need a guy like this. You definitely utilize a guy. Let me put it that way. You definitely utilize a guy that has this type of skill set, man. So I like Tyleek Williams, but I think he's kind of, like I said, maybe he's 5th or 6th best defensive tackle out there as far as like what he can do. So,
but like you said, if we don't draft him in round one, getting him in a second or a third round, that's That's a hell. That's a guy, because like you said, we know we're going to get from him. May not be the sexiest of the box score, but we know he's doing his job when he's in there.
When he plays the shade or that 3 technique on the other side of it, where he could do more like 2 gap, hold guys up, that's what he would play. That's who it would be for us.
Tej, your thoughts on Tyreek Williams, my man?
I don't think there's any way he's getting out of the second round. I think he's like in the 40s or like low 50s. Any team in the middle of the draft who decides to go with another position who also need a DT, I think they're looking at him going, we'll if he's there, we'll take him in the second round. I like Tyreek Williams a lot. He's also a Nova boy, Marcus, from Manassas.
Yeah.
I like Tyreek a lot. He's very similar to one of the guys I showcased earlier, Jordan Phillips. Just better, like a better version of Jordan Phillips, just more dominant. It's like a 2-gap wall. Some of the best quotes I read is he redirects running backs for a living, is what they said about him. He doesn't look the part; he is the part. A force in the middle. He stacks and sheds, and he just wears interior linemen down. He'll just wear you down by game end. You'll be just exhausted facing him all game. Just a 2-gap wall. Strength. He has a great base. He was 360 at one point at Ohio State. Lost some weight. Got down to what? He's like 335 now. Pass rush is a problem. But you're not drafting him for pass rush, right? You're drafting him to redirect running backs, like the quote said. Like that's what you're drafting him for. Do you hope to develop that down the road? He's got some of it there. Most of the time one of the quotes I saw was that if he doesn't win on that first gap shoot with his first step, he's not going to get to the quarterback, right? Like he needs to hit that gap. He doesn't have a lot of counter moves. It's just not his thing. He's just not a pass rusher. I mean, he can build that over time, but again, I think he knows what his bread and butter is, and it's to stop the run. And that's what I think any team drafting him in that second round, that's what they're going for.
And I think this is something we talked about maybe a couple of years ago. The year we brought in Brandon Williams during the midseason, JD, there was a lot of where you would say, like, I mean, look at our DTs. We're not getting any pressure at all. They're not getting any push at all. They're just getting stalemate and being pushed back. And that was I don't want to name any names, but one of the guys who just got signed by another team, by the Jets this offseason, no longer with us anymore. And I think
I'll name names. Okay.
He's no longer with us anymore. But I think that the one of the things that stand out about him by his film and what all the experts are saying is that his motor is nonstop all game long. He's going to be in your face. Mm-hmm. That's just something we haven't lacked next to Chris Jones. We've had to go out and get veterans midseason, Brandon Williams to come in to give us that kind of juice, to kind of give us that stalemate, the guys that can continue all game long. And I think that is a huge value. And again, like you said, we talked about Pinnell. It's not that's not a stat that you can kind of showcase and put a number on it like we have at the top right there. But that is something that we've lacked as having an opposite next to Chris Jones and being able to get him. That's like really invaluable for us.
Yeah, he definitely fits the bill, like you said, for what he does. Like I said, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting with him. You know, there's no question about it. Well, maybe can he get 6 or 7 sacks? Like, no, he's not. That's not what he's going to do. And that's the thing. If this is what you want, then that's what you're going to get, pure and simple. So it is a run stopper. Yes, you're going to try to keep the guys off the linebackers. Absolutely. So both those guys can run around. Sure, why not? Do you want somebody, or do you want somebody that can do a little bit of both? Right? No, man. He's a good player. He's an absolute good player.
Yeah, what you see is what you get with him. And Sid McBride at 22, he's just a baby, and if we like him, we can keep him for a long time. There you go. The cost control aspect of getting a guy like that.
Yeah. That's if we're tired of the 1 year.
The 1 year, yeah. Mm-hmm. And we can find our Mike Pinnell at the age of 22 and keep him forever. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to get to. Oh, also, I saw YB Never says this. He will surely slip with a hamstring issue. It was just a cramp. But JD, optics wise, a guy falling during his 40 and like kind of like getting a wrap after that. Is that like, does that hurt his value at all? Or no? I mean, he said it was just a cramp and obviously it wasn't anything serious.
Oh, shoot. This sucker shouldn't even been running the 40.
Yeah.
Man, hey, I don't give I give a damn if you run a 4.6 or a 5.2. All I need for you to do is bench press centers and guards. That's it. That's all I need for you to do.
You can do that.
Yeah, that's what we paying you for. Hey, I get it, big fella. You want to be fast over here? Go have a seat. That's what you need to do. Go have a seat. We put you on these a couple of these drills that we know you can actually kill it at. But 40 wise, no, you good. Big dude like that, shoot. No, he's straight. Yeah, he ain't gonna fall.
Yeah. All right. So JD, your second prospect of the night is Maxwell Harrison from the great state of Kentucky.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what, man? I wanted to do kind of like just a quick little thing on him about his ability. And I do believe he'll fall to the second round. And I told you that the reason is because, one, his ability, what he can show. You see the 4.28. He's highly athletic. His measurables are off the charts. Man, he has incredible instinct. The things that you look for in a DB, hands, hips, eyes, feet. He's top quality in all those things. And you see his body frame, man. He is so athletic. When I would see him out there in the games, man, he looks like an NFL DB. That's the thing about it when he's out there playing. He really does. And I said because of Trent McDuffie, we don't know what it's going to look like for him after Big Staley got paid down there in Houston. We know that market, man, for DB has done went up. That cost, man, that bill is going to come due. It is going to come due, baby. It's going to come due, and there's going to be a hefty price point. So Maxwell Harrison, man, he gives you a lot that you can do. He does great in zone, man coverage. He could do it all. He's 5'11 and a half. He's got good size on him. He doesn't mind coming up and tackling. That's another thing. And so when you're talking about a guy like this, a young guy that could come in and play immediately, he can do that. I can imagine him and Trent opposite sides of each other, and you would have no problems, no issues whatsoever. Whatever it is that you want, right? So Trent could come play nickel. Okay, we talked about that. Here's a guy that could play out there corner, opposite of Christian Fulton, because you got him there too. So it gives you a lot of possibilities, man, what this thing may look like. Even if they wanted to sign Trent, then you still have a legitimate guy, legitimate athlete, and Maxwell Harrison on the other side. And I'm talking about this joker runs a 4.28, a legitimate, man. I mean, that sucker is fast. He is fast. It comes out on screen, so he can do it all. But as far as what I've seen them utilize him as, they brought him off the edge to go and blitz Kentucky. He can do that too. So he's used to this. This is something like, as far as like what we do defensively, it will be perfect for his skill set. It absolutely will be. Yeah, man. Maxwell Harrison. If y'all have known who this guy is, man, y'all need to go check this guy out. Seriously. So
did he? I wasn't really familiar with him. Did he get injured last year? He only played four or 5 games.
Yeah, I think he did. He did.
Yeah. Okay. Shoulder injury.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mad Max, baby. That's his nickname.
Yeah. Hey, look, this joker don't mind coming up and tackling. That's a good thing. When you see a DB that don't mind coming up and tackling, that's my type of guy. That's what I love.
And you also gotta love the big playability, which we love McDuffie, but like that's really not what McDuffie has first interception this year, and and like that after a couple of years playing in the league, and then we look at this guy's stats. Granted, it's college stats, and McDuffie, we looked at his college stats. Didn't he have only one college interception or something? So like it's never him in his thing. I mean, McDuffie's just a beast. He's not a ball hawk. This guy kind of showcased a little bit of everything, kind of a variety of a little bit of everything coming up and tackling. And you talk about these interceptions and the kind of the ball hawk skills that he has.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy provides a lot.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So I mean, make up speed, whatever, man. I mean, he's got it. He's got it. Thanks, Faye.
Appreciate you, Faye. Sage, what are your thoughts on Maxwell Harrison? You're kind of quiet there.
Pull up my notes on him. So, what's up? I was like, good, not the elite corner of this draft, but a really good corner, really good communicator, good first step, acceleration's obviously massive. He blew up the combine. I mean, 4.28, you're cementing yourself in the top 2 rounds at that point, right? If you have good, decent film and you're 4.28, you're cementing yourself in the top half, right?
Oh yeah.
Can get grabby. I mean, he's a physical corner, so he can get a little grabby. I think he's got the playing style of man, but because he's so light, I mean, like 180, 182 or something. A lot of scouts think he might have to be relegated to more of a zone corner because he's so light. And they don't know if he's going to be able to, hold up with the physical man coverage against some big receivers. Because, I mean, 5'11", 181 is pretty small. I mean, kudos to the 4.28, but some of that comes with his lack of weight. And he's feisty. He's definitely a feisty player, and he's physical with receivers, but that combined with a shoulder injury that pretty much shorted his season out, does that and the lack of weight play into how aggressive he's going to be against the run in the pros? I guess those are his question marks, but yeah, speed kills, man. You can get beat and catch up to that ball with 4.28 speed.
Yeah. I mean, Joker had a 39.5 vertical jump, 10.9 broad jump. I mean, he's explosive, athletic. And the thing is, if you're sitting there saying, well, shoot, if you lighten the tail, well, don't grab onto him. You just play athletic. Play right there in the hip pocket. That's all you need to do. That's it. That's all we're asking. So we like for you to be aggressive. If anything, yeah, go on and be aggressive with those guys. Because guys like that can make it up. And that's the thing about it. So he has some of that length, 5'11 and a half. How tall is Trent McDuffie? Trent is what?
I think he's about the same. I think he's like 5'11.
Is he 5'11? I thought he was like 5'10.
He might be around that. It's 5'10", 5'11.
Mm-hmm.
Listed at 5'11. 5'11", 193.
All right. So I just, if you have two guys like this on both sides that don't mind, playing man heads up, shoot, I think it helps you out. It helps you out to get, especially against a deep ball. That's for daggone sure. You ain't gonna get ran past. Ain't nobody running past you. So that's what you got to look at. When you have to deal with somebody like Jamar Chase and all those other guys that's around there, and there's some suckers gonna go deep on you. That's what teams been looking at. They've been looking at these wide receivers that can do that, who could absolutely take the top off of defense. And when you have a DB that could run with you, be right there in the hip pocket, and he's got great hips. He can flip his hips, man. He found the football. He's got all the skill set. So,
and cost control at another premium position too, as you mentioned, JD, and that's a huge part of this.
Huge,
yeah. If you draft a quarterback early, I hate to say what it might mean for our optimism with coming down to a contract agreement. Yeah, with Duffy.
It depends how he plays in the first year too. That also is a big part of it.
You're gonna see Yeah, no, I'm talking about our mentality, though, what we're afraid of, right?
Right.
If we go D-end early, might show you we're a little afraid of George's negotiations. Go cornerback earlier, it might show you we're a little afraid of McDuffie's. So it's an insurance policy we're going to be drafting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The DN also could tell you that they feel like they whiffed big time with the FAU pick too. That could also be that as well.
Yeah, but I mean, all we have is George and the FAU really past this season.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that also is that as well. They're not that confident as maybe some with a K-State's own.
You got to keep them replenished, man. It's like a it's like a sales job. You need to have to get paid every 3 weeks. You need to keep that pipeline full of talent. Have it running all the time.
You need leads. You need leads. You need leads
Constantly. Glenn Gary leads.
Exactly. On the Brown, hips don't lie. Shakira. Yeah, I know Mike Mayock was big on the hips. He would always talk about cornerbacks and the combine based on their hips.
Yeah, man. Cornerback, hips is great. I'd say hips, mentality, and speed. You have those things, you'll be a starter for a very long time in the league, I think.
Yeah.
Because if you got a feisty, aggressive alpha mentality and you're fast, a lot of those other things can be taught to you.
Oh yeah.
We talk about ball hawks. I mean, the 5 interceptions last year probably would have had around that.
I did read that most of those were really bad throws. I did read, but still, you got to catch them.
It took him to the house too. House calls at 4.28. If you get a guy with 4.28 with a ball in his hand, probably gonna take that far or the distance.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Why be never coffee is for losers. All right. Okay, so Tasia, your next guy. This was an interesting one. This is a name that really hasn't come up for me at all.
Yeah. So Ozzy Chapilo. So I want Connerly, we're looking at wanting to be our left tackle of the future. We don't do that, and we're like, that Juwan Taylor contract's pretty big, and we can get out of it and save about $20 million next year. Then you go more of a Trapilo route, more of your right tackle of the future. So perfect size. Dad was a guard in the NFL for 5 years. He's played left and right tackle. More impactful pass blocking than run blocking. Great initial first step. Pulling, combo blocks. His eyes are always searching. A really heady player. Always keeps his head up. Incredibly patient. Plays more powerful despite not being a really huge guy as far as weight goes. A little imbalanced. When he lands as a hit, it's a hard strike, right? So he's got really big hands. Sometimes his hands can be wild. He strikes big. He swings big. You also miss big sometimes when you do that, right? Quick out of the gate, but not super impressive in zone blocking. Doesn't sustain his blocks in the move. I mean, you're 6'8". I mean, you're not going to expect this guy to be out in space handling people all the time, right? That's just not going to be his game. Can throw punches without being totally set, so that's really his big problem. But a really underrated player, really clean film. His player comp was Walker Little, the Jacksonville tackle, who ironically they went and then got rid of the tackles and one of the ones we have now. So they drafted Walker Little to pretty much replace Taylor and
where is he kind of what's his round grades?
He's anywhere from, I've seen like mid to late third to like early mid fourth. So again, he's someone, if you're like, we want right tackle insurance once. I mean, I'd be shocked if we kept Taylor around after this season for $25 million. I just think that's crazy. We just can't do that. Not the way our team is built, not the way our top heavy team is built, and not the way we got Trent McDuffie, Leo Chenal, and George coming up for contracts. You got to be choosy. Finding a cheap 4-year option as the solid right tackle, guy who was built to to play right tackle in the NFL. Extremely high floor. One of the higher floors at tackle in the draft. You're obviously not drafting to be your left tackle, but for your right tackle off the out of the gate, that's your guy.
Sim McBride says 6'8", 33-inch arms. T-Rex.
When you got the technique and you know how to pass block, it's not going to be as big of an issue. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a problem. You're trying to draft a guy top 15 like a Will Campbell, but we're talking late third, mid fourth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't really be choosy at that point. Right?
Come on now. I mean, yeah, I get it. We put on the first round goggles when we look at every single prospect. But yeah, he's not a first round pick, man. There's a reason why he's going to be around pick, 90 to like 110, right?
JD, what do you make of Ozzy Trapillo and going for right tackle?
I watched a little film, not a whole lot on this guy, so I haven't really did a whole lot of homework on him. I don't know. I don't know too much about him, to be honest with you. 6'8", I love his size, but some of the concerns that came up. He said he's not good at zone blocking. How is he getting to the second level?
That's not where he impresses. He's good out of the gate, but yeah, out on an island, running out there in space, not his strong suit.
Okay, yeah,
he's a guy to keep 15 clean and pass true pass block sets.
Okay, he's that good in pass block?
Yeah,
is he okay? I had to check him out.
They say he's one of the more underrated tackles in the draft. As far as tackle, like just straight up tackle. I'm not saying left tackle. You're not drafting to be that. Obviously, he's just not quick enough for that. But
yeah,
for just a high floor.
Is he better? Is he better than the kid from Penn State? I can't think of his name. I watched a little bit on him. More so, he's about 6'7". Can't think of his name. I think I've had him somewhere later on in the draft too. Can't think of his name. But other than that, man, I don't know. Shoot. Having 6'8", sucker's gonna have to be able to do something. Don't we have what Ethan? What's his name?
Driscoll, everyone's fan favorite, the fan favorite.
Driscoll.
You got Driscoll. Yeah, we do have Driscoll.
Driscoll could play that position.
Some fans want to put him in the Hall of Fame based on his Week 3 performance in preseason.
Well, I think like right tackle, you sitting there, you think about like later on. I get like you have somewhat of some depth there. Wanye came over, played right tackle, did a pretty decent job.
Yeah, that is his natural position.
Yeah, so Drisk he's there. Is he learning something? He's getting better. Okay. I don't know. I tell you, I don't know too much about him, so I can't really speak on somebody I don't know anything about.
Well, just talk about the right tackle position. Is that something that you think they will draft based on what Tasia was talking about? The Jawan Taylor, what he's set to make next year. Do you think that is a high priority? And is Wanye? I could be wrong. Isn't Wanye free agent next year as well?
He's got 2 more.
He's got 2 more years.
He's going to be here for 2. So he's going to be here for the long haul.
Okay.
Yeah,
and that is a guy we did draft him in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
He hasn't really been able to play his right tackle position,
Sure.
yet. So that could be maybe that is the plan. They let Juwan.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that was going to be the plan. And even so, let's just say, I don't know, could possibility if you do get somebody in the 1st round, and all of a sudden you take maybe more, move him over to the right tackle. You could do those things too. You could do, I'm sure, a few things. Possibly. I don't know. So.
It's Aussie guy, pretty good PFF grade there, Tejas, at 76.8. It's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, most scouts and analysts, they just love his film. Just a really solid right tackle prospect. He'll be starting in the league for a long time, I'm sure. He's one of those high floor guys, not going to wow you, but just your right tackle, set and forget type guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody that when you look in 5-6 years time, like, man, he lasted that long in the draft.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Okay, so with our final guy for the night, this is a more of a fun one. It's a D tackle, but this is a fun one. This is Desmond Watson. This is a guy. He was the backup nose tackle at Florida, but he's making his way on everyone's radar right now. 6'6", 464 pounds. This guy, Desmond Watson. He had 36 reps at his pro day last week. Would have 36 reps at 225. Would have been more than anyone at the combine by 3 reps. And he would be the heaviest player in NFL history once he makes the team. He was projected to be an undrafted guy, but with his pro day and his workout doing so well last week, they actually the experts are saying that he may slip into being a 5 to 7th round pick potentially now. So go from an undrafted guy to rounds 5 through 7. He's 45.93. I gotta say 5.93 for a guy who's almost 500 pounds. That's not half bad at all, I'd say. And then also, too, they were big fans. The experts loved his vertical, 25 inches. And, of course, his 36 reps speak for itself.
His knees were bone on bone when he got done with that 40, man.
I bet, yeah. Hey, he made it through. Unlike Tyreek Williams, though. He made it through.
That's true.
So I was watching a podcast with him. He was on Shannon Sharp's show a couple days ago. And he said that he needs to lose weight. He knows he needs to lose weight. He needs to get down to about like 420. Ideally, 400 would be the ideal weight that he's talked about with the NFL team so far. But just doing there's not a lot of people have done write-ups on this guy, but I was looking at a few different ones. So this is what I gathered. Provides literally nothing as a pass rusher. Stamina is a serious concern. Have to question if the weight is a Florida decision or that he can't keep it down as he's consistently coming to spring camp 20 pounds heavier than his previous listed weight, which is interesting. Every year he's gone a little thicker. Teams will want him around 380 to 400, which is what he said last night on Shannon Sharp's show. And may doubt he can sustain that weight. Run defense has the power and anchor you'd expect for someone 100 pounds heavier than his competition. But he lacks the movement to finish plays even when he wins the rep. He has some value as a goal line guy and might be of particular interest to teams as a tush-push stopper if they do not ban it. Also, too, he did talk about potentially, getting the ball on offense sometimes for like a short yardage play. They kind of laughed about that with Shannon Sharp, but it made me think about our usage of Dontari Poe back in the day. So it could be more of a fun kind of gimmicky kind of guy you can have on your squad. And also too, we need D tackle. We need depth at D tackle. And also I wanted to kind of talk about this guy because I know there's another time to talk about a guy who could potentially be the heaviest dude in NFL history at 464 pounds. JD, unlike Tasia and I, you played in the NFL. And when you see a guy this big, what's the first thing you're telling him? If he came to you for some advice, what's the first thing you're telling this dude?
Yeah, no, he's got to lose weight and get into shape. I mean, it's bottom line, it's not healthy for him. And then if you're trying to be effective, like we can't have you just come in and get 1 or 2 reps because you don't have the stamina. It's not going to be able to sustain. Everybody's not looking for a gimmick. You know what I mean? College, you might have been cute. The NFL, man, it's a business. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do that. It is not. So, a guy like that big, you don't even know he's going to make the roster. You sit there, man, all the things you said, it was all negative. That was it. The only thing that he would win at is being the biggest guy to get into the NFL. That would be all. So, yeah, I would tell him, man, he'd have to lose some serious weight. Should at least 100 pounds. At least 100 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was 380 out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every year, 20-pound gain every year going into the season.
And apparently this was his best year of conditioning nutrition since he's been in college, they said. So that's scary that this was his best year of nutrition and conditioning, and he was 464 at the end of it. I mean, forget about football, man. just think about him as a person. That's
Right.
not good on us. That kind of weight and that kind of pounding your heart's taking playing football, trying to force yourself to get through a game like that.
Yeah,
That's rough, man.
Forget about that. Talk about off-season training camp and conditioning. Getting through that's an issue too. And NFL training camp where these guys have to pass through the conditioning tests. That's also, I mean, that's dangerous too.
Yeah, I mean, from when I was reading up on him, I was reading other foreign because they started interviewing other 400-pound plus players. There was one a couple of years ago who's still in the league, but he said initially, like, I got down in like my mid-high threes, and like it what a world of difference it made for conditioning and for just foot speed, for quickness. Like I was able to move. So I mean, it's good if you want to try to like just plug a hole, but you also need to move for that too, right? Like Tyleek's a run plugger, but that dude gets down the line. Like he can move. He gets down there and makes open field tackles, right? Like you need to do more than just plug a hole in the NFL. That's not getting it done.
Yeah. Lyndon Hunter said, how big was Refrigerator Perry? I'm looking at it now. He said it was 6'2", 335, which was big back then. I mean,
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy right here, man.
What was Mount Cody?
He was huge. He didn't he lost a decent amount of time in the league, didn't he? With the Ravens?
He was
340, 349.
350.
Yeah. So not even close to that.
Not even close. I mean, 2 inches and 115 pounds, man.
The crazy thing about him, they were asking Shan Sharp and Chad Johnson. Also, too, JD, Chad Johnson made a joke about his diet, about his own diet. He said, if you ever need any diet tips, he said, I'm 40 eating McDonald's still. He said, if you need any diet tips, come to me. And Watson was like, no, I'm not gonna be eating McDonald's. No, I need to lose actual weight.
Yeah.
So at least you knew that Chad Johnson's diet's not the way to go. So that's good. But he said that his brother, like that family, he's the biggest by far in his family. Like his brother's like he said his brother's 5'9", like 165. Like I mean, like that's how 5'9", 165 to 6'6", 464 pounds. That's because they were like, oh, how big's your family? He's like, oh, I'm the biggest by far. It's like not even close. Then he said, like, he gave an example of his like siblings, and it's like 5'9" types to 6'6", 464 is big of a difference there.
Yeah, huge difference. Damn.
Remember Shawn Rogers? He was listed at 6'4", like 350, but I think towards the end he was getting to the 370s in his later years.
Who's that?
Shawn Rogers, the DT.
Yeah.
Browns, and I think he went to Detroit.
Yeah. Who's that? Gilbert. What's number 2? What was
Brown, the old Packer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was massive too. Yeah, he was 6'2", 340. That's kind of comparable, right? 6'2", 340, add 4 inches to that. That's still like, add 4 inches to that. I'll give him like 40 more pounds, okay? 6'6", 380. Tell me another 80 pounds on top of that.
Yeah, these jokers being generous with this one. Gilbert was a lot bigger than 340.
But he was also 6'2", right? We're talking about 4 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably was. Probably 350, 360.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 5'9", 340 for a guy that size, pretty good. Or, I mean, are we just kind of...
Who, Gilbert?
I'm talking about Desmond Watson, a 5'9", 340 for a guy almost 500 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
He probably won't do it every play, obviously, but like...
That's the problem. He's gassed for the quarter after that.
Yeah, the fact that he was a backup nose tackle at Florida tells you, the guy wasn't... I mean, if he came in for a couple plays during a season, then, a game. That's...
I mean, the starter nose tackle on that team's hoping to get drafted in like the 5th or 6th round. Cam Jackson.
Yeah.
So, like, you have that. The guy who started ahead of him played all game ahead of him. It just goes to show you, man. I mean, NFL's no joke.
I always say no gimmicks, but we do have a Mr. Irrelevant pick this year, and I will say this would be kind of a fan favorite as they did go with this guy at Mr. Irrelevant. I know it's a real draft pick. It's not a joke, but this would be kind of a fun pick to go with that Mr. Relevant.
I think he'll be undrafted, but undrafted free agent.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's not getting drafted.
Man. To no Desmond
Man.
Watson.
Yeah,
To no Desmond Watson.
you're like, man.
When I stumbled upon this, I remember seeing a photo of him like picking up like the Tulane quarterback like a couple of years ago or like last year.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it might be. Yeah, it was I think it was a sack he had like 2023. It's one of the most insane photos you'll ever see. It's like a little. It looks like what I imagine David Goliath looked like.
I thought it was AI when I first saw it. I was like, this can't be real.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's just standing there, just picking up the guy like it's nothing.
Yeah. There's another guy and slammed the picker. I slammed. I'm like, giant out there. Yeah, man. I just.
You said Tush Push defending it. I was thinking Tush Push carrying it. I mean,
as far as the quarterback to take the snap, though, I mean,
quarterback or the guy pushing it.
Oh, behind him, the pusher.
The pusher.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. Not
Good
bad.
luck with that. I mean, granted, he might land on the quarterback and dislocate his shoulder or something, but
yeah, you run the risk there.
But still, I mean, you're not. They might ban it after someone tries that.
Yeah.
Then you'll really get someone injured in that talking about leverage in that D line, man.
Just have him carry the quarterback like 5
Yeah,
yards.
have him do what you do with the Tulane quarterback, but just pick up the quarterback with the ball and just like ram it in.
Yeah. So that's Desmond Watson, guys. If you didn't hear about this guy, there you go. You heard about Desmond Watson tonight. So
Linda Hunter said not being mean, but I don't think he can survive training camp. Be tough, but I mean the training camps down is not as hard. It's not gonna be harder than probably what it's been down in Florida. They'll make sure I'm sure he'll take a break if he needed to. But
yeah,
that's the thing. I don't know if the teams are willing to just take that chance. Be like, hey man, you're not really dedicated. Shoot, this big. We ain't got time to get, trying to get you down to weight. You got to come in almost. You got to come in ready.
Yeah, he's got to. Yeah, I mean,
come in ready, man.
It would bode well for him to just work his ass off to even lose 10, 15, 20 pounds before the draft even happened. So, agents can tell, teams like, hey, man, he's already down to 440. He's already down to 430. It's encouraging. You need to try to impress people right now.
Right.
Yeah. JD, would he make it through, as you said, a training camp? Would he make it through? How would he fare in a Dig for Meal training camp, just based on?
Oh, I coach it, boy. The coach would be on him. Seriously, man. Yeah, he would. Coach did not play. I told you, man. I don't know who he was talking to, but he. I think it was maybe I came in. When we had a month off once we left mini camp. We came into training camp. Me and Willie both came back a little heavier than what we than what we left and what we were supposed to come in at. Coach sees me, JD, how you doing? Oh, I'm good, Coach. How you doing? Hey, you look good. You look good, man. In shape, Coach. I'm doing all right. Feel good, all that. So I think I get in. I think I'm a few pounds overweight. Willie too, both of us. So we had the first team meeting. So me and Willie are sitting up in the back of the room, right beside each other. And Coach Mills just I see some of y'all went home and didn't do nothing. Went home and went to go eat. Lied to me, dead in my face. I asked them to go home and work out, and they just lied. And they fat asses I had. I'm just like, oh. So me and Willie look at each other like, he talking about you. You're like, oh, man. And he just went crazy, absolutely crazy. I don't know how many people came in and might, because we have a targeted weight when we come in. That's how it is. And I don't know how many guys were at the, what did they call it? I'm trying to think what that was called. But it was kind of I guess, a training table or whatever. There was a group of us that was in that group. It's funny how they regulated it because they had, you could eat certain things and you could only stay in this, you had to stay in their group until you lost your weight. Oh, it was funny because they used to give us like sack lunches. Yo, it was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, man, I'll never do this again. I think I was in that thing for about 3 days, baby. That was it. I'm like, oh man, I'm out of here.
What do the meals consist of?
Oh man, you do like cottage cheese and they had sandwiches and all, certain things that you like take a certain amount of protein. You had to like do some extra conditioning and stuff like that. Like I said, I was done probably in the first few days. I'm like, man, this ain't cool. So,
yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite stories you tell is that story with you and Ralph. I love that story so much.
yeah, man. They do nothing. Just lie to me in my face.
And I love that he was so cordial with you when he first said, "Oh, hey man, you look great. You look great."
You look great, JD. I'm like, hey, coach, I feel good. Yeah, I'm ready. For I'm sure that Jeff, when they brought out the coaches meeting. Yep, coach, we got let me see, probably about 10 names that came back that overweight. What? Yeah.
That's so good. YB Negative says maybe Andy could be his diet buddy. They can both sweat off cheeseburgers. I was actually thinking that they could actually be like burger buddies, where like they,
the last thing this guy needs.
Once he cuts down on weight, like they have like a nice like little thing together.
Nah, man, this guy needs cold turkey. Once he cuts it down, you act like it's gonna be,
it's gonna take a long time. Yeah, it's gonna take a long time.
I don't know. He's prime candidate for Ozempic.
I've actually. Do any players? I mean, how would they even work with athletes? Like I'm talking about real athletes, like like professional athletes, like taking Ozempic. Is that against? Is that a PED?
That's definitely a PED.
Oh, okay, yeah, so,
right. Well, because it just helps regulate like your insulin, right? I think, and then what Ozempic is.
Yeah,
so it's like your blood sugar, like it's just the insulin. I think it's part of the regulation. A lot of people use it to lose weight. That's not necessarily what it was necessarily used for. I think that's the reason.
Right. But I think it does more than regulate your insulin, though, doesn't it? I mean, it regulates your appetite too.
I mean, I don't know. It could. I'm not sure. I just know as far as like when some people do it. But why would it be a PED if it's just regulating your what's the name of it? Your appetite?
I mean, a lot of drugs do other things besides what they're supposed to do that helps someone,
So based on this is just I'm asking Google AI. While NFL players can use Ozempic if prescribed type 2 diabetes, if an NFL player has type 2 diabetes and is prescribed Ozempic by a doctor, they are permitted to use as part of their medical treatment. So I think you have to have type 2 diabetes in order.
Okay, but he couldn't just get on it if he wanted to. He'd have to be type 2 diabetic.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah.
Okay. Have to have a medical, reason.
Out in the real world, you don't need to be type 2. They'll give it to you if you're just,
Right. Yeah. If he wasn't trying to be the NFL,
excessively over his weight. Yeah.
Well, even out here in the world, you had to get a what's the name of it?
Prescription, but you don't have to be type 2 diabetic to be prescribed Ozempic.
Yeah, there's certain health qualifications to get on it. You don't have to have type 2 diabetes, but you can have other things like
you have to be clinically obese so you can get on it.
I think so. I mean, because there are other health factors that would show like different type of blood results that would probably show that you would probably be a candidate for it. You have to be a candidate for it. There's certain things certain thresholds you have to hit.
Correct.
Yeah, because the doctor could justify you being overweight to the point where you're going to be diabetic soon if you don't get on it. So they could probably justify that.
They had, but it's still a prescription. It has to be prescribed by a doctor to get.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, that's the only way. I know it's because Susan. She works in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
So she says, when people get on these things, that's the reason. But they also talk about the risk of some of these things also. So a whole different conversation. But see, Linda had the nasty side effects I've heard. Yeah. So I don't know, like for a player, what that would necessarily do for a guy who didn't have it. But regardless of it, this guy right here would have to get into some serious shape to come play the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't think as far as like him coming out there and helping out. Listen, let's make this. I'm gonna make this plain, okay? The NFL, man, is a league of guys that are at the peak level in football, okay? And they never had a problem with getting guys in. And they always try to get the best of the best in the league. And so, like, they don't need this guy. They don't need any other guy just for whatever reason. They're trying to get the best of the best that fits their mode. So it's a hard thing, man, to be in the NFL and get there and stay. You know what I mean? Like, it's a privilege for sure.
Yep.
So what happens in college is totally different than the NFL. I mean, there's guys that's knocking on the door to try to get to the league. Like, there were elite guys in college that still haven't gotten on a team or stayed with a team or on practice squads and whatnot. Yeah. So this guy right here, man, sorry, but teams don't necessarily, they don't need it. They don't need to develop this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you know you had other guys that's knocking on the doors that's much better suited, much better guys than him, much better players. So,
yeah. Unless a team thinks they can make it, they think they can easily get him to lose about 80 pounds.
Hey man, they're not doing it. There would be no reason. Why even? What would be the purpose? What would be the purpose? When you have, I'm telling you, you have guys that are much better than this guy who's been a backup that's been playing at this level. Why bring this guy in to develop him? You bring a roster spot in and guys that are hungry, who are disciplined, who's done everything in their power to get on the team. No, sir.
Not to mention, that's going to be a huge adjustment for him. Also, like, you're pretty much going to have to kind of start from scratch because you only seen him play at 440 and 460. So he's going to have to adjust to life after being 450 pounds. So let's say you get down to 360. Then you're going to have to see what you got in him. So, like, you can't even see what you have in him until he gets closer to his actual, because you have to, these guys adjust as they gain 10 pounds, 5 pounds, lose 10 pounds. Like, it's a different world for, like, even 10, 15 pounds. You're talking about 80 pounds, pushing people and picking two-lane quarterbacks up ain't going to exist anymore when he's 350 pounds. 360, it's just not going to happen anymore like that. So he's going to have to then learn how to play the position at that new weight. It's a whole new world for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like using the resources, all those different things, man. These guys are here to win. This is not like developing. There's other things they can do. There's other leagues. There's a league playing right now developing for guys to get in.
It's true.
Shoot. Hey, man, we need for you to come in and be ready. We need guys to come out here and be ready to play.
Yeah.
We don't have time to wait. We're not sitting over here trying to develop. Guys that we even trying to give a chance to develop, we're expecting them when they come in and play to be ready. So that's why the NFL is not for long. So it's the elite of the elite. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a gimmick league. I'm sorry, it's not.
Calls when you're serious.
That's right.
Do you guys think he will be claimed? You both said undrafted. You think he'll be claimed by an NFL team, or no? You think he'll probably go to like a project league like with the UFL?
Yeah, man. I tell you what, I find it hard to believe if somebody did, I would find it hard to believe. Seriously.
I can see it. Just, it's throwing a dart, but it's all up to him at that point. Like, you do it, you tell him and his agent, look, man, if you come into camp and you can't get through, drills because of your size, you're still too big, you're gone. So, like, he can take this time and work his ass back into shape or into shape, not back into shape, into shape, and then try to be ready and prove himself when we have an opportunity for him. But it's all, we're not counting on this, right? It's going to be,
I don't see it, man. I'm sorry. I'm telling you how serious the NFL is. I think people like this ain't no joke, man. This is people that are getting paid. Like, this is when I'm sitting over here and I'm looking for a guy, okay, who's going to be ready. It's his livelihood. this is the guy I'm trying to get. And there's a guy that's been out here hungry, who's been working his tail off, who is in shape, who's just as good, probably better than this guy, that we can utilize.
Now, if his last name were James and his dad's name was LeBron, then yeah, maybe we can get him on the roster, right? Get him in, get him on a nice rookie contract, 5-year deal for like $15 million. There you go.
LeBron couldn't even save his joke if his last name was James. Couldn't do it.
Really? I don't know about that.
Nope. Couldn't do it. You ain't got room for you. Sorry.
Not the NFL,
ain't
man.
Got room for you. Yeah.
I agree. NFL's different.
It's a whole different entity. Because there's guys that who have that name of coach, players, dads that play the NFL, they just ain't making it. And that guy, like this, the guy's a good player. Like he's got good. Yeah, he's talented. He's very talented. Just couldn't make it.
Now, if Stephen A. Smith was his dad, he could probably talk him up to getting on a team, maybe. All right.
So Florida coaches should work with him to reduce his weight.
They tried. I'm telling you, from what the article I read, they were saying this year was like the most work they did with him to get him like as focused and on top of it as possible, and he was still 464, man.
But see, this is what I'm talking about, the coaching, man. Like they could have intervened way before this. And if you have a guy like this on scholarship and whatnot, you could have easily said, hey man, look, you're gonna come in here and work your tail off. And we're gonna weigh you every week, every single week. And so if you're not taking care of what you have to take care of, man, then you're not gonna do it. We can't keep using you. We're putting you in harm's way. Somebody said that earlier. He's a liability. This kid has a heart attack out there. Something happens.
Yeah.
I mean, God, dog.
Insurance premiums on the team are going to go up.
Yeah, coaches could have been in the high school. They could have. I mean, and everybody, how's the anomaly? Everybody looking at it like, wow, look at him and stuff like, hey, man, somebody said, yeah, look at him. And somebody should have put him to the side like, hey, man, what are you doing? You really want this? If this is serious to you, then this is what you need to do to be successful. You want to go to the league? This ain't gonna work in the league, man. Being this big, you gotta go to work now.
Is that a character concern, JD?
Yeah, for some it is, absolutely. Apparently it wasn't for some because they let him handle it the way they wanted to. So yeah, that's why I said it's subjective. For some, it's like, hey man, look, he ain't putting it in. Well, coach is like, hey man, sure, we're gonna let him do what he does. He looks good. We like him. Wow. Okay. So somebody took a chance. Somebody just let this happen. Yeah. So not on the coaches. That's on him. It's on him.
It's a combination.
It is definitely a combination. Definitely a combination. So what you house, I'm a woman who's morbidly obese, disabled, and fighting my way through every day. This young man breaks my heart. I hear you. You keep fighting with you.
Yeah, keep the fight with you.
Keep doing, baby. That's what you do.
Yeah.
He's the thing for him. He has an opportunity. And I haven't seen this. I didn't even know he was on Shannon's Zim show and stuff like that. I don't watch Shannon's Zim show like that. I like to hear what he has to say. But I think like for like Shannon was probably, I'm sure Shannon giving him advice and stuff like what he needs to do like physically. Like he was trying to give DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf couldn't even hardly hear what Shannon was saying. So some people take it, some people don't.
It was kind of more of it really wasn't like a life advice kind of thing. It was more of like a, they asked what coaches are telling him, are you going to lose weight kind of thing. But it was mostly like Ocho Cinco and Sharp were kind of laughing, like, at like his combine results and stuff and how big he is kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
It was a more gimmicky kind of thing, and not really like, oh, you need.
Really, Shannon was taking it seriously. That's surprising for me.
Nah, well, they're both kind of like giggling with him on the call and stuff. I mean, Shannon said, I mean, like, yeah, what are the coaches telling you? And he was like, yeah, I probably need to lose weight. So yeah, you do. I mean, like, but you're more of like a, probably more of a 2-down lineman kind of guy, like, and that was
2 down all game.
yeah. I think that's what he meant. Yeah,
I mean, not 2 down in a row.
like goal line stands. But yeah, it was a really serious heart to heart.
Yeah. Drew Boucher was sitting there saying that he was type 2 diabetic. He was talking about the Ozempic, I think. He's talking about.
Oh, we got a fan. We got a fan. Demonte Green Beans. Man, please put him with Chris. We got a Desmond Watson fan in the chat. He wants us to hit Mr. Relin right here. Sign him up. Lock it in.
What do you say about DK? Shannon was giving DK a hard time?
Well, he was trying to tell DK Metcalf, he was saying that part of the reason maybe he was like, a game could go up if you're eating the right way and all those different things. And DK Metcalf really didn't want to listen, like hear it. It was almost like he was like, yeah, I got it, but I'm kind of do mine. Said he was kind of still eating like garbage food. And
he eats 2 bags of candy a day.
Yeah, Shannon was like, all right, man, look, I can't tell you nothing. And so, you got to follow your own advice. Whatever it is that you feel is right for you, sure. I think the arrogance of it was, here you got Shannon, Hall of Famer. He's huge on working out, talking about longevity in the league, talking about taking his game up, even to another level. Like, to be the best wide receiver in the league, there's other things that you have to do. And it seemed like DK Metcalf was like, yeah, like kind of, So when you kind of listen to that little, when they kind of talk about that, it does seem like there was like a little bit of arrogance from DK Metcalf.
Yeah, because he's got 8-pack shredded abs while eating candy, and he can do whatever he wants.
Hey, man, and you could some people can get away with it. You can do it for a long time, treating your body a different way, and some people, genetically are predisposed to certain things happening to them.
Sure.
He might have been blessed genetically, to have a body, having abs and stuff like that, where he's able to shred the pounds and stuff like that. How we talking about gaining weight. Shoot, when I was young, man, I'd keep weight off. Couldn't get no weight. Eat everything. Shoot. Man, hit 40, boy, I start looking at cheeseburgers or something, man, and just start gaining weight. So, and it's a whole thing of just disciplines, things you just had to do differently and better. So.
Look at that burger, your ass jiggles for a week.
Yeah. Well, mine's pretty tight. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Over jiggling.
All right.
I got this thoroughbred behind me, Tage.
All right. Hey. Yeah, I thought, okay, I got the wrong idea.
Yeah.
Got Buds of Steel, huh? Remember those?
Yeah, Buds of Steel. There you go. But what I'm saying is, I am sympathetic for the ones, the ones that saw here, like Witchy and what's the name, and Drew was sitting there saying those things that that do happen to us, that we go through, or whatever, that sometimes it's just hard to lose that type of weight. Get control of these things. May need a little bit more help. To get us to the goals that we need. Health wise. So the thing is, can you intervene on a guy who's younger for that? And hopefully this is something that they can, kind of get a handle on before it gets too late, especially has an opportunity to play in the NFL. And if that's his ultimate goal to do that, if he's able to put the time in, all the effort to maybe make this a reality, shoot, I think he should. I think he should.
About time, Buns of Steel. I got buns of flatbread. All right. So JD, before we got into the prospect talk, you said you wanted to address something or talk about something.
Yeah, man. Look, we've been out for 2 hours and 30 minutes. We'll talk about this on Wednesday because it's been a long time. But I'll tell you what it has to do with, because I want to know what's been going on. Everybody talking about being critical of like Isaiah Pacheco and Travis Kelce. What's been going on? Apparently, I don't know.
Someone posted a photo of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift on the beach, and that was from last year after we won the Super Bowl. And people were saying Travis Kelce's out of shape, and that person kind of got dogged for like bringing up old photos and old news. The Pacheco thing, that's been more of Pacheco's
video.
The video of him working out in the offseason, people laughing at like his workout routine, saying he looks like a lot of people making fun of his workout, his little workout that he's doing. It's literally an 8-second clip that people have taken.
His little workout that he's doing.
Well, yeah.
I think I saw that one. Yeah.
I mean, it does look like he's doing a little crossover. I mean, that's what it looks like. It doesn't really look like he's like doing. Yeah, it looks like an Allen Iverson crossover. Is what it looks like. If I were to do it, But yeah, that's
doing a Euro step with no balls in his hand. He's like,
oh yeah. I saw that video. Yeah.
So that's the Pacheco stuff. But yeah, the Kelce thing was a picture that was last year of him and Taylor Swift on vacation. He got a little bit of a gut, but like it's last year, and so yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
That was it. That was all I wanted. That was all.
Yeah. So Kelce's good, and Pacheco just doing a little workout.
Marcus, was that you sharing it? Like,
no, I did. I think I posted a GIF of an Allen Iverson crossover and Antonio Daniels. That's what reminded me of. But no, there were some people who were saying that like Pacheco sucks because it's man off my team. A lot of those type of tweets. So that was it. But like the guy was literally working out, and people just took an 8-second clip of him doing like a foot speed drill, or whatever it was. I don't know what kind of drill it was, but. And people made fun of that. So, yeah, Demetrius Spence says that Papa's putting in work. I mean, yeah, that's what he's doing. But people want to make fun of that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I somehow I seen that. I was like, what? Like, what's going on? What's been happening? I hadn't really, been on, social media as much. You know what I mean? So I haven't quite seen too much of it. Shoot, I actually had Susan was sick last week, man. I caught like this little like stomach bug.
Oh,
yeah. Laura had that last week.
Did she? And I was cool.
I've even seen a lot of NBA players out today for a stomach bug.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's going around.
Man, I thought it was cool. And Susan was sick like that for a couple of days, and I'm just like, hey, you know what? It missed me. I was taking care of her, being a good hubby, getting everything, and cleaning all the stuff down, because she talk about all. Oh my gosh! I told her when she gets sick, she gets sick. She gets sick everywhere. You ever have like somebody sick and they decide to touch everything and don't like you don't clean up after yourself. Like if I get sick, I try to keep it confined to like one area, like one little space.
Right.
You
do a little quarantine in your spot.
Absolutely, my spot. I'm not getting anybody else sick. Like that's what it's going to be. And Susan's the opposite.
How many days did it take for you to get sick from her sickness? Because since Laura got sick, I've been in the clear, and that was like she was throwing up, and that was Wednesday of last week when she stopped throwing up. So it's been almost a week, and I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Knock on wood.
So yeah. So she started. What was it? Tuesday feeling bad. Wednesday she didn't go to work. Wednesday, no. Thursday, Friday she didn't go to work. I don't think it was. So she started feeling bad Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, and I didn't feel it Saturday. Like literally, Friday night I started feeling like, oh man. I was like, I think I'm good. And then Saturday I woke up like I was like, oh. I'm like, oh,
here it is.
Yeah. I was like, Dad, got it. I told him, it's funny. I was like, I had a dream that I felt like I had 4 stomachs. I don't know why. One of my stomachs was feeling bad. One was okay. The other 2 was like, all right. I was trying to move my stomachs to get to the better part. Like today, I'm finally got my my energy back. So, but I didn't have like all the like symptoms she had. Mine was like really like stomach cramps, couldn't really eat too much. I didn't have any, any other stuff, put it that way, which is good.
There you go. It's good on the mend. That's
yeah.
How's Chad doing? He's doing good.
Chad's doing good. Yeah, Chad's doing great. So talk to him. So he said he's getting a lot of his strength and stuff back. So
awesome.
He's gonna be on here tonight. But I told him I wanted to get away from him because I don't want him to get sick.
That's another thing too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
cool. Well, all right, guys, that brings us to the end of the show. As JD said, it's another marathon here. Another good couple. You can binge watch this episode tonight. You get three episodes in one. But we hope you guys enjoyed the show. And JD, take us away, brother.
Oh man, well, shoot, everybody. It is a long while, but it was great conversation. We had a good time tonight. Some really good topics. Some meaty stuff. So like you said, if you want to get through this, talk about some things, sit back and watch this. I think you enjoy it. Sasha, appreciate you. Fun show. About time, Witchy Hall. YB Negative, Delmonte Green Beans. Good seeing you, my brother, as well. You see the barbershop is in here. Drew Boucher. Sasha, Joe E. Who else we have in here? Linda Hunter. Man, I appreciate y'all staying with y'all. Stay with us the entire time. Appreciate y'all. That's y'all. Yeah, love y'all for that. I'm the Brown. Sid McBride. I see we've seen D Mac came through for us. Gary Holland. Faye Smith. Let me see who else we got in here. Randall Trower. Okay. I hadn't seen Randall Trower in a while. Justin Blackwell. Marion Oliver is in here. Sparkle Sports Cars. Good seeing you, Sparkle Sports Car. Let me see who else we got. But Demetrio Spence, Reverend Dr. Chief Bloodygrass. What is we do not need to draft a running back, full stop. Oh, really? Okay. I hear you, Rev. I got you. Shoot. I think Rev believes Zulu. What's going on, Zulu? I think Rev believes in protecting the ones we got here. We got the guys we need, huh?
Rev likes the video he's seen of Pacheco. There you go.
Well,
He's bought in.
He does.
Hey, Rev. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Hey, whatever little thing works to get you better, do it. Do it. I'm glad we're watching you work out. Glad you're watching work out. Maria DeJarnez was in here too. I see D-Mac Wakefield was in here. See who else we got in here. Justin DeWay. Kevin Mars. Appreciate it, Kevin Mars. Hearts and Roses in here. Good to see you, Hearts and Roses. Let me see. Scarecrow was in the house tonight too as well. Man, I think that's about it. Kevin Mars, did we tell you thank you, Kevin Mars, for the contribution, sir? Thank you so much. But listen, hey, you know it. We didn't get to say your name. Family Man was in here too. We didn't get to say your name. We appreciate each and every one of you for your time, your patience with us, enjoying the conversation between me and the two Dash brothers. These two guys, some of the two greatest guys on the planet to me. Love these brothers right here, Marcus and Tage, for y'all time as well. It's always real when we get out here and start talking. So, hey, y'all know it. Y'all take care. Love you all. Y'all be good to one another. God bless. Be careful out there. Take care of each other. Be safe. This little stomach bug and out, man. Wash your hands and stuff. Look, I got my little hand sanitizer. Use that too. I'm gonna hit all that when I get there. I'm just gonna do a little rub for all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Keep y'all clean just in case y'all don't get it over the waves either. Okay, in here. So, hey, with that though, man, appreciate it. Love you all, man. Look, y'all have a good night. We will see you on Wednesday. Man, and keep this thing going. Talk about some more stuff, brothers. Sound good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great.
Wednesday night. Love you, JD. Love you, everybody in the chat.
Love you guys.
Wednesday. Have a good night, everybody.
We'll see y'all. Love y'all.
All right,
Everybody, love you too,
man.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.